Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening.
Word up, word up, word up. What's going on, everybody? I am Justin Hunt. It's nice to see you guys. I wanted to do this thing last year where I started going live and just do the full news. And so I've had this concept in my mind for a while for the Company Man Show. And it's a spinoff from something I used to do way back in the day when I was on PNCradio.fm when I had my own radio show. And it was called The Company Man Show, and it was on 4 days a week. What's up, everybody? I see you guys coming in here. What's up, Roberto? What's up, Antonymous? I like that. What's up, Mikey Baby? What's up, Zane Fanick? What's up, MTP Management? It's all happening. Y'all the first ones in here, man. Word up. 9 second applause to you all. So it's so I've wanted to do this for a while, and so for most of you guys have been seeing me sort of expand over the past year. You've seen Culture United. There'll be a Culture United coming up soon. Lots to talk about there. You've seen obviously longtime viewers and people who have followed me on YouTube for a while are aware of breakdowns and think pieces that I've done. And then over the past year, you've also seen me do sort of reactionary news type of thing, right? And so last year, my goal at the end of last year was to start doing the reactionary news in a live format. And so for you guys who don't know, this is kind of a peek behind the curtain in terms of how I tend to handle these things. What I'll do is, my goal every day is basically to record for an hour. Record for an hour, right? And so that's always been my goal every day. And then I would, go through whatever stories that I could fit in to that hour. Now, sometimes that was 5 stories, sometimes that's 1 story, but goal was to shoot for an hour. And then, so I would shoot and then do really light editing and just sort of a podcast approach to whatever topics we're talking about, right? And my goal in my mind for even starting that process was to get better at doing reactionary news, to get better at sitting in a room by myself and talking to people. I don't know if y'all ever really tried it, but it can be really uncomfortable. There's part of you that can feel pretty schizophrenic, I guess. So nevertheless, I have been procrastinating on actually flipping the switch and going live. I've got enough reps now. You guys have seen probably couple hundred videos of me just sitting here talking about whatever stories are, breaking them down more naturally the way I used to do on the Company Man Show on PNCradio.fm, and more naturally the way I used to do on the All Out Show with Rude Jude on Shade 45. Shout out to Rude Jude. 1 second applause. Great homie of mine. And so there's a lot of you in my audience who remember hearing me on the All Out Show with Rude Jude too. And so this was always the plan. The plan was always to start doing these live. It helps with editing. I get to interact with you guys on a more consistent basis. If things break, if there's breaking news, we can actually break them while I'm live. And so I decided that today is the day. Today is the day that I'm going to start doing the Company Man Show on a more regular basis. Now, in my mind, the way this looks is I'll do the Company Man Show for an hour plus. We'll see, depending on what stories are, how the day's going, but an hour plus, at least an hour every day. And Monday through Thursday, because the other side of my goal this year was to do more think pieces. And I think sometimes I can get into the habit and flow of like, okay, well, I talked about that story. Okay, I talked about that story. Okay, I talked about that story. But think pieces actually take a lot more time. Think pieces take a whole lot more thought, a lot more editing. And I do all the editing myself. And so I need more time to do that. And it's difficult for me to do that. If I'm over here doing these other stories, taking 3-4 hours to shoot them, or take an hour plus to shoot them, 2-3 hours to edit them, another hour to upload. Now, after that, I don't want to think about what other people are talking about anymore. And so this is like the next, call it phase 3. Phase 3 was pretty good for Marvel. I'll say this is phase 3 of TCM in terms of the evolution of what I want to do on this channel. And so, so this is the first one. This is the first one. So big shout out to you guys. Big thank you to everyone. Big shout out to Andy Pandy. Big shout out to Lord Racer. Big shout out to all the moderators in here. Big shout out to Mikey Baby. I see you again. Big shout out to Queso. Looks like queso. I like queso. Queso tastes good. It's a good appetizer. I think I was supposed to say pause there. I'm a grown man, but I don't. I also recognize cultural movements. We'll let that go. And so this is the first one. And so thank you guys for bearing with me. I think that this is going to be a little rough. Sometimes it can be rough, but nothing starts off dope. So this is what we're going to do. Mic check, check, check. Thank you guys for tapping in again. The Company Man Show, episode 1. Today we've got a packed slate of stories. We're going to start with Nicki Minaj. We're going to move on to BigXThaPlug. That conversation has been pretty loud the past couple of days. I've got a couple of reaction videos I need to catch up on, so we're definitely going to do that as well. If you like what we're doing over here and you want to donate to the channel, hit the, oh, it's on the other side now. You can send money to the Cash App up there. Also, there's a link in the description, I think. Maybe it's not on this video, but it's on some other videos. And big shout out to everybody who's a member of this channel. It's the best way to support this channel. You get access to videos early. You get access to a few other things and more surprises rolling out. There's always some evolution in my mind in terms of anything that I'm doing creatively, anything I'm doing journalistically. And so thank you guys so much for being a part of the next phase. 9-second applause to you all. Shout out to Trey Redden holding me down since 2012. 9-second applause for anybody who remembered me that long. All right, so I was caught off guard. So something crazy over the past few weeks when it comes to Nicki Minaj. Now I can probably say that I've been caught off guard by Nicki Minaj maybe for the past year or so. I understand how life throws curveballs, and maybe some of the decisions we make aren't necessarily the decisions that we should be making. And without judgment either way, what caught me off guard most recently with Nicki Minaj is that she has been outwardly supporting the Trump administration. And not to say that she shouldn't, or people shouldn't support the things that they believe in. But this one story particularly with Nicki Minaj is she came out publicly and said that she believed that the Trump administration should go into Nigeria, guns blazing, which is the quote from Trump, and start killing people because Christians are under attack, right? Now that happened last week or maybe over the past 2 weeks. And today she made a big step in terms of her support of that idea. And she went and spoke at the UN, the United Nations. Nicki from Queens made it to the UN. Hey, that is an accomplishment. Well, either way you look at it. 1-second applause. And so, but here's what she had to say. So let's take a look at Nicki Minaj speaking at the UN. Let's see. All right, so here's her talking here.
Hello, everyone. I must say I am very nervous, so please, well.
I'm gonna pause it real quick. Let me know if you guys can hear that. Give me a thumbs. Give me a applause if you could hear that. Can you guys hear what she's saying? That's part of the getting the reps, the technical difficulty sometimes. So let me know if you guys can hear when she's talking.
Thank you, Ambassador Waltz, for this invitation. It is an honor to stand on this stage with you and the other distinguished speakers here today to shine a spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics.
I mean, that's such an ironic statement just on its own, right? Because I think it's true in terms of, from a constitutional standpoint, and generally speaking, from values that we have shared as Americans. But I think we can look in fairly recent history and see a number of people who have been persecuted one way or the other for their beliefs. We see it all the time with complaints about people in apparently there's a large a Muslim immigration in Texas, or they're building a lot of mosques in Texas. A lot of people don't like that. You can always find a story about someone attacking, particularly in the past few years, attacking different synagogues across the country. People don't like that either. And so, it sounds like she is speaking to the idea, but at a time when I'm not sure that idea is as strong or as concrete as we are used to that idea, or we'd like to think that idea truly is.
No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for
She going off script now. Let's see where she go.
The person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted.
We're going to get into some of the details that's around this issue particularly. I do agree with her that people are being targeted for their faith and a number of other things all across the world. I find it very interesting that this is the particular issue that she has gravitated towards. You've got Sudan, you've got Congo, you've got Palestine, of course, you've got places all over the world. And what's happening in Nigeria, we'll get into the details again. Of all things, if there's a top 10, what's happening in Nigeria, at best, 10? Let me know if I'm off by that.
Driven from their homes and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear. Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. Nigeria is a beautiful nation with deep faith traditions and lots of beautiful barbs that I can't wait to see. When one's church, mosque, or place of worship is destroyed, everyone's heart should break just a little bit. And the foundation of the United Nations, with its core mandate to ensure peace and security, should shake. I am joined here today by peace builders, by faith leaders, by those who saw violence, saw rising intolerance, saw the threats clearly before us, and chose not to look the other way. I am inspired by their work to build interfaith ties, to see the humanity across the lines which might divide us.
I understand being nervous too. I'm just not used to Nicki talking like this. I'm a little off guard. It feels unnatural for her, but I also understand being nervous. She is speaking in front of the world governing body, representatives from nations across this planet. And it's a very serious topic. And I can't remember the last serious topic that I've seen Nicki necessarily be at the forefront of in this manner or to this degree. I'm just caught off guard.
And to fight for security and liberty for all those who pray. I look forward to our discussion today, and I hope it will encourage deepened solidarity for us to urgently work together to ensure every person can enjoy the right to believe, to worship, and to live in peace. Barbs, I know you're somewhere listening. I love you so very much. You have been the ultimate light in my life and career for so. I appreciate you, and I want to make it very clear once again that this isn't about taking sides. This is about standing up in the face of injustice. It's about what I've always stood for my entire career.
I'm sorry. 1 second applause for irony. Look at that face.
And I will continue to stand for that. For the rest of my life, I will care if anyone, anywhere, is being persecuted for their beliefs. Thank you.
All right. All right, there it is. 1 second applause for Nicki Minaj for speaking at the UN. Now, like, again, you've got Congo, you've got Sudan, you've got Palestine, you've got the Uyghurs in China, you've got all kinds of things, And for me, this Nigerian story, we'll get into some of the details here in a second. For me, this Nigerian story is a bit, it feels convenient for the US. And the US is in an interesting place right now, considering how you have, for the first time, a competing marketplace. And I'm not sure how many people have been following certain things that happen from a geopolitical standpoint. But there's a competing marketplace now called the BRICS, right? The BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And they've created their own supply chains, uniting the global South from a trade standpoint. It's basically every other country saying they're tired of Western civilization. Like, basically, that's what it is, right? And so while you have China and you have Russia, who are nuclear superpowers, you got India as a nuclear superpower as well within that trading bloc. That trading bloc altogether is larger than the G8, right? And so the G8 is Western countries. It's France, Germany, UK, Canada, US, a couple, I think I'm missing 1 or 2 in there, right? And so now that's created a lot of challenges for American trade or Western trade in general. And so all these other countries have gotten together and said, you know what, we're pretty tired of Western civilization. And they have made incredible inroads in South America, incredible inroads in Africa, on the continent. And I think that is part of what we're seeing in terms of this recent activity with Venezuela, for example. The conversations that they're bringing up now about taking control of the Panama Canal, right? All these things, it's just a different geopolitical environment. And so when I heard Trump talk about going into Nigeria, I'm like, oh, this feels very CIA. This feels very, okay, we have to find a way to put a stop to the BRICS nations, China in particular's outreach to these other countries, right? We've had Ghana, who recently kicked out of the French. French has been living off continental resources for a long time, right? And so all these things are just happening right now. But here's some more details on how people are reacting to Nicki Minaj's speech here. Now we're going to go to, this is Nicki's post, by the way. Let me show you this real fast. How people are reacting. Not that one. So here's Nicki's post. So here's what Nicki said. Can you guys see that? You guys can't see that. Let me see. Oh, here we go. All right, you guys can see that now. Boom. All right, we're getting better. We're getting better every day. All right, so Nicki Minaj says, Ambassador, I'm so grateful to be entrusted with an opportunity of this magnitude. I do not take it for granted. It means more than you know. The Barbs and I will never stand down in the face of injustice. We've been given our influence by God. There must be a bigger picture, a bigger purpose, right? So that's what she said there. Now, there's a story today that came out on Rolling Stone. Big shout out to Andre G. 1 second applause. Best in the space, best journalist in the space right now covering hip hop. Okay, and so Andre G., he did a story breaking all of this down. And so here's what he says. Faith is under attack. Nicki Minaj spreads misleading information at the United Nations. Nicki's claims of extremism against Nigerian Christians, like Trump's, aren't backed by any data, right? And so that's part of why it's so crazy to see Nicki Minaj select this particular issue. And she's been vocal about it over the past few weeks. It's because of all these issues, of all these human rights issues and faith-based attacks that are taking place globally across the world. This one doesn't have the same data supporting the accusation. And here's what the article says. Nicki Minaj spoke at the United Nations headquarters today, calling out what she perceives as extremism against Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and his leadership on the global stage and calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, she said, also asserting in her 4-minute speech that today faith is under attack in way too many places in Nigeria. Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned, families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly simply because of how they pray. Before Minaj's speech, UN Ambassador Mike Waltz echoed the notion of persecution against Christians before thanking Nicki for taking the UN podium to demand action for Christians. Minaj's speech prefaced a panel discussion entitled Combating Religious Violence and the Killing of Christians in Nigeria. Time reporter Eric Cortausa, I said that wrong, previously broke news of the speech, revealing that President Trump's advisor, Alex Brucewitz, facilitated Minaj's appearance. Trump does a good job of getting some celebrities, I'll tell you that. Every time I look up, there is somebody who I feel like needs a pardon, someone who's got somebody who needs to get out of jail. If this is that information, this is that administration, right? Like everything is for sale right now. Everything is for sale. If you got somebody in jail, you got a check, you good. And I think we see that with a lot of people who have been aligning with a number of things that this administration has been doing. This is probably the most accessible one we've ever seen. And it makes me kind of incredulous when I think about why Nicki's picking this issue particularly. I'm not sure who she got in jail. Who knows who might need some help? We shall see. But the speech comes weeks after she made an X post lauding a Trump Truth Social post that claimed that Christianity was under an existential threat in Nigeria. Elsewhere in November, she shared a pro-MAGA clip posted by the White House's X account, which was soundtracked by her Bees in the Trap hit, as well as a xenophobic transphobic video highlighting Trump's accomplishments since beginning his second term, which resulted in her losing 100,000 followers. 1 second applause. God don't like ugly. All right, and then here's the details. Trump has asserted that Christians have been persecuted and murdered by radical Islamists and has threatened to invade Nigeria guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. On September 11th, Texas Senator Ted Cruz introduced a bill against persecution of Nigerian Christians, but the nonpartisan U.S.-based organization Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project and Council on Foreign Relations, the Council on Foreign Relations, in particular, like, okay, you've got Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project. Sounds like a think tank that focuses on that. The Council of Foreign Relations, anybody who was following any 9/11 news coverage, after 9/11 happened, all the people who were benefited is probably a way, but all the people who were also a big part of putting out the 9/11 investigation report at the end was the Council of Foreign Relations. So like they tend to be more aligned with, the military industrial complex in a lot of different ways. The Council of Foreign Relations has repeatedly stated that the notion of Christians being disproportionately attacked is a dangerous reduction of the nature of violence in Nigeria that isn't backed by data. Nigerian citizens support their sentiment. So the idea here is that, yeah, it might look like it's people are attacking Christians, but a lot of the conflict that's taking place in Nigeria is more tribal than anything. They're not being attacked because they're Christians. They're having a tribal conflict where they happen to be Christians, right? And so you have now the US military using this as an excuse to go into one of the most oil-rich nations, one of the most developed nations on the continent, and saying we're doing this because Christians are being attacked and trying to frame this as a religious war. Council of Foreign Relations, Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, and Nigerians themselves say the opposite. It continues. In an Algeria op-ed, senior special assistant to the president of Nigeria, Gimba Kakanda, stated, every region of Nigeria has both Christians and Muslims living side by side, and conflicts typically unfold along community or regional lines rather than strictly religious ones. Bulama Bukarti, a Nigerian conflict researcher and human rights lawyer, told ABC News that the violence is indiscriminate in a report where an imam stated, "The kind of pain we've gone through the past years, the issue affects both faiths. Nigeria's population of 220 million people is split mostly between Christians and Muslims." Still, Minaj, like Trump and his conservative comrades, is projecting a misconception that Christians in particular are being assailed in Nigeria. This is about standing up in the face of injustice, she said during her speech. It's about what I've always stood for my entire career, and I will continue to stand for that for the rest of my life. I will care if anyone anywhere is being persecuted for their beliefs. And so this story is a lot more complicated than just Christians being attacked. This is something that, again, the Council of Foreign Relations, it's a global body that people would describe as Illuminati. Okay. Like, that's how crazy this is. It's saying it's the opposite. And so for Nicki to pick this particular issue, to go this hard at it, to the point where she's speaking at the UN, to the point where she's allowing her music to be included in their White House promotional videos, right, at the expense of losing 100,000 followers. 100,000 followers. She has millions. I'm sure she doesn't notice. There is a ripple effect here, and there is a reason why she's doing that. I don't know what that reason is. Perhaps this is an opportunity for her to broaden her reputation. Perhaps this is a first step into politics. Perhaps, like I said earlier, the incredulousness in me, when I see certain people who have certain people around them who could need some judicial help, and you have this administration, perhaps that's what that is too. Okay, and so this is another situation that is taking place in life through the lens of hip hop. I think that all of this is really unfortunate, because in my opinion, one of the most devastating and destructive impacts of global capitalism, impacts of America policing the world, is how it's continued to hold the continent down. The most resource-rich place on the planet, a continent full of largely Black people. And they have been under the thumb of imperialism and colonialization as far as for the past 1,000 years, nearly. Okay. And to support, of all issues, to get outside and support additional military action by the United States in one of the wealthiest countries on the continent, one of the most oil-rich places on the planet, and support any administration, truthfully, but this one particularly, under the guise of religious reasons, is particularly destructive in my mind. And so we shall see where this goes. We shall see if there's any repercussions to Nicki doing this, or if there's a broader reason as to why she's doing this. And we'll also see what happens in Nigeria and the United States. We are in a very, very wartime energy. We've got Venezuela, we've got Ukraine, we've got Palestine, we've got Nigeria being talked about, and I'm not sure if this is going to be ending anytime soon. So again, let me know what you guys think about all of this. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section too about what Nicki is doing. I'm gonna reply to some comments here. Let's see what you guys got. You know what I'm saying? So who we got down here? We have Taiwan, China also on the horizon. Let's see what we go. Timothy Davis said Mexico is being floated. Right. Yeah, I mean, we just saw that a couple of weeks, or maybe this week, we saw what looked like a staged rebellion in Mexico. That is crazy to me. 1 second applause to you, Tim. Karen says, Trump loved him some war. And he was supposed to be the guy who didn't love war. I think we always looked at war, particularly in terms of the boots on the ground, but we were quick to bomb somebody. We will bomb somebody real quick around here, but great point, Karen. 1 second applause. King James, everyone knows what will happen if America steps foot in Nigeria. They'll control the oil region. That's what it looks like to me, too. That's what it looks like to me, too. Word up. And then what we have here. Hey, Michelle says, yeah, it's awful. She's a narc. Boy, I tell you, that documentary on what happened to Young Money, Cash Money gonna be crazy. 1 second applause. All right, cool. Word up. Let me know what you guys think about this. We can keep talking about it here in the comment section. But that's the Nicki Minaj story, and I'm completely caught off guard by that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story here we have. Now, I'm gonna share this one. Sure, it's 7 10. Okay. So one of the things I thought was really interesting here is wait, hold on a second. I got an error message. Your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Restart the browser if this continues to be a problem. Okay. All right, we got that. Episode 1, we got technical difficulties. But that's part of growth. Nothing starts off dope. All right, so let's see if that works. All right, so this next story is a viral conversation. It's a conversation went viral on Twitter, right? And I love these podcasts. You know, these podcast clips of, I'm not even familiar with this podcast, but there's always some that really spark some genuine conversations. We saw one earlier this year when we saw the 22-year-old who said that Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas. Like, I thought that was so funny. Right. This happens all the time. And so this one happened the other day. And so this is a few guys sitting around talking about hip hop in the South, right? It sounds like they're from Atlanta. They're talking about hip hop from the South. And let's see if we can hear what they're saying. Let's see. Can you guys hear that? Oh, shit. Actually, hold on. Start over. All right, let's see what we got here. Can you guys hear that? Okay, let me know in the comment section if you guys can hear that. All right, here we go.
I've never been in a party they play real New York like Rocky. They gonna play Pop That Coochie before they play. Yeah, I hope so. They'll play Let Me Ride That Donkey before they play. Yeah, I hope so. New Yorkers gotta learn to make music for people to party.
Is that better? I just turned it up a little bit. Let's see. Was that a little bit better? Let me see if we can turn it up. We'll start over. What's this look like? That's all the way up. This is all the way up. This is all the way up. So maybe it's just a little low. All right, we'll try it again. I think this might be the loudest I can make it.
I've never been in a party. I've never been in a party they play real New York like Rocky. They gonna play Pop That Coochie before they play New York. Yeah, I hope so. They'll play Let Me Ride That Donkey before they play. Yeah, I hope so. New Yorkers gotta learn to make music for people to party, not that junk. Nobody want to be thanking. I ain't no joke.
Nobody want to be thanking.
Tomato.
I'm glad you said that because that had pissed me off. That's how I feel about when I listen to Kendrick.
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. When anybody's got something to say about raps that actually have some conversation in them, that have ideas in them, people always bring up Kendrick these days.
Tomato.
Now, truthfully, people used to say that about Nas at a particular point in time, right? There was people who said, like, maybe even Jay, I think, made reference to that during their battle. So this conversation is not necessarily a new conversation. I just find it a conversation that is always disappointing to me because you'll see as where this conversation goes. But people make this they make it a light switch conversation. It's either on or off when it's really a dimmer conversation. You know what I'm saying? So you can make a trap song about being a better person. That's why Humble sold 20 million records. 1 second applause.
No. Hey, I'm telling you, you gotta listen. It's a message. No, bitch, I don't want no fucking message in the song.
Tomato.
Come on, brother. No.
Hey, I'm telling you, you gotta listen. It's a message. No, bitch, I don't want no fucking message in the song. When down south people started making good music, y'all ain't saying nothing. The music wasn't meant to say nothing. Why Babaloo Bam, why Bam Boom? Nobody ain't supposed to just vibe. That's why Future is king. That's why he king, because he know how to make you do this. Yeah. He ain't saying that. I know that's the beauty. That's the beauty. What the hell was he? That's how you say it. Music was invented anyway. Well, I will say that Jay-Z is my favorite rapper, but he knew how to go get Southern rappers and dumb it down too, though. Yeah, you know he got to dumb it down. Yeah, Big Pen been spinning.
That's the hook. Okay, that's the hook. That's not the lyrics. That's actually the hook.
Tomato.
Talking that shit. He talking about
Talking that shit. That's funny.
being with girls and shit. I don't want to hear all that KRS-One shit. You crossed the bridge. You see, man, shut the fuck up. Got no damn bridge, nigga. We ain't got no bridge in Atlanta.
We ain't got no bridge in Atlanta.
Tomato.
At least you're gonna say it right if you're gonna poke holes in it. The bridge ain't in Atlanta. That's how you would say it. We ain't got no bridge in Atlanta. That's a totally different sentence. I've been to Atlanta. Plenty of bridges. 1 second, pause to Atlanta.
People is always stupid for thinking that they word means something. Like, they really think that Biggie is the best rapper. They really think New York niggas is the best rapper. They don't realize they only think that.
So you believe Jay-Z is a better rapper than Lil Wayne?
Easily.
That's my number one, Lil Wayne.
Easily.
I'm gonna tell you something.
And Lil Wayne is a rapper's rapper. He might not be sharing deep thoughts, but he is flipping metaphors crazy, especially the Wayne that they're talking about there.
Go back and listen to that goddamn Rolodex on both rappers. You got artist rapper, bro. Lil Wayne.
Wayne is that.
I got a tip over Lil Wayne.
You crazy.
Damn, he hurt me.
Easy.
He number 2 though.
Easy.
Lil Wayne into it.
I ain't even finna argue like in debate that like song maybe.
You gotta go like bangers, like I mean, I guess.
Oh, you go song for song, it's easy.
Ain't nobody got more than Lil Wayne.
Right. And so this is tagged, who is the GOAT of rap? That's not even what they talked about. They didn't even market this clip in terms of what they're really talking about here. They should have called it, New York is stupid for thinking Biggie is the greatest rapper of all time. And then when they're talking about people don't want to hear things, they bring up Tip and Wayne. And Wayne in the 2000s is straight up kicking fireman raps. Kicking metaphors that are crazy. Kicking metaphors that are crazy, right? So I thought this was one of the craziest things that I've ever heard. And I also think it's an insane bastardization of history. An insane bastardization of history. They're talking about the greatest rappers from the South, or they're talking about how people from the South aren't saying anything. The South blows up through Scarface, through Ghetto Boys. My mind's playing tricks on me. The South blows up through Arrested Development. Atlanta blows up. Atlanta gets on the map really through Arrested Development. You got Speech. You got Tennessee. You got People Every Day. This is before you really get to Outkast. This is before you really get to Goody Mob. It's almost as if they're separating themselves from the history of their own history in an attempt to advocate, in my opinion, more so against other regions or people who like lyrics. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And it also separates from the fact that you can look throughout music history and find songs that make you dance and make you think. Right? I mean, I'm not going to say this is a rap song. It's about a hip hop song. It's not a rap song. But I always think about Andre 3000's Hey Ya. Hey Ya to me is one of the oddest hits, one of the riskiest hits in hip hop history. I interviewed him around Andre 3000 around that song. I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago or so. But like, that song on its own has a line in there where he says, if what they say is nothing is forever, what makes love the exception? You know how deep that is? That is one of them things that's two things we've been hearing our entire life. True love is forever. Nothing is forever. You can have deep thoughts. You can say things that make people think and still dance. It is possible. The entire history of music is based on that. Right now, look, I'll look at this on two sides and on both sides. Right. I'm not saying that every song needs to make someone move. I'm not saying every song needs to make someone dance. I think that there is something powerful about chant-based music. Wop, bop, da, loo, bop, wop, bamboo. I think the energy of a Future record hits you in a different, it's not about necessarily what he's saying. It's like how he's saying it hits you or how it makes you feel. But these guys are sitting up here dismissing their entire point. Their point is people think someone is better because they rap good. And at the end of the conversation, they're like, I got Wayne and Tip. Probably the two best rappers to come out, two of the best rappers to come out of Atlanta ever. It's one of the craziest conversations that I've ever seen. Now, perhaps they're being comedic, but I don't think Homegirl on that couch was comedic at all. You know what I mean? I think more than anything else, what this conversation represents is a point of view where it's either or. It has to be either or. Either you like lyrics or you like the beat or you like to dance. And there are tons of songs that when they drop, you be dancing and rapping. Tons of them. Biggie's got a ton of them. T.I.'s got joints like that. Okay. I thought this is one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. Shout out to these guys. I'm not sure who they are, but let's listen to this part again at the end, because this part at the end to me is a trip, because they're over here talking junk about lyricists. And here they come with naming nothing but lyricists.
Cross the bridge. You see, man, shut the fuck up.
Disrespect. Disrespect.
Damn bridge, nigga, we ain't got no bridge in Atlanta.
We ain't got no bridge in Atlanta. It still hits me every single time. We ain't got no bridge in Atlanta.
Tomato.
That's funny.
New York was always stupid for thinking that they word means something. Like, they really
Stupid for their words mean something.
think that Biggie is the best rapper. They really think New York niggas is the best rapper. They don't realize they only think that.
So you believe Jay?
Well, we're not the only ones who think that. But I think the thing here, too, is that part of this discussion, and I've noticed this, being in the media and being a part of the media for a long time, and particularly growing up in the South. Like, growing up in the South, there would be a lot of albums that we loved. And by the time we looked at The Source, or we looked at XXL Magazine, or we looked at Vibe, and their ratings were not representative of how these albums were hitting. I think pretty much the Midwest and the South felt that harder than the West Coast and the East Coast. And the West Coast felt it too. There was a debate, really it lives to this day, between the Chronic and Illmatic. And Illmatic got the 5 mics and the Chronic got 4.5, I think. And that was a big thing. Bone Thugs and Harmony got 3.5 mics, East 1999.
Tomato.
Crazy, right? And I think this is a legacy opinion. I have a problem with this opinion, again, is that we're in 2025. We have listened to the South run rap for 25 years. And so this, in a sense, feels like the last gasp or a death rattle of a region that I'm not sure will be dominating the same way going forward, or at least from a style and a sound that I'm not sure will be as dominant. I think when you start looking around, you start seeing where the world is, right? Two things that always really drive what's happening in music, all music in general. What's happening in the world and what kind of drugs people are doing. Well, people have been doing lean and downers and perks and all this slowed stuff for a very long time. And we've, all things considered, been living in a time where most people weren't affected by macro things that were happening in the world. And I don't think that's the case no more. You got food banks. People are in line for food banks. We saw Young Thug this year on multiple occasions talk about how he just wanted to make music about having fun, and he didn't want to talk about anything real. Now, keep aside the fact that that's probably one of the worst rollouts we've seen ever. You have one of the biggest artists to ever come out of the region coming home from a case that many people believed he shouldn't have been fighting in the first place. All he had to do was put out some good music and shut up. He wanted to point fingers at people. Something crazy. He wanted to go at Gunna, who's now looking like the strongest writer in that entire camp, or at least the best hitmaker that's still left outside of Future, most likely. He goes and calls the project UI Scuddy, paints his face white and says, you can't be the biggest unless you're white. Look at Michael Jackson.
Tomato.
Michael Jackson's biggest album was when he was still dark. He was still dark on Thriller. It looks like things are shifting. But this perspective apparently ain't, right? And so I don't know, man. I saw this. I thought this was one of the funniest and also most tragic things that I've seen. And it feels like a conversation that comes from people who are trying to hold on to what has been and are not necessarily sure what to do because things don't look like the way they used to. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section. I got a couple of super chats here. Let's shout out the super chats. Antonymous. I don't know why they act like both sides can't coexist. You want to shake your butt or use your brain. It shouldn't be clown. What a weird world. Exactly. I mean, that's the biggest thing that stands out to me here. Just looking at this as a light switch point of view. There's plenty of great songs that make you think and dance. And hip hop has always been really great at that, to be honest. you know, and so, you know, for this perspective to be as loud as it is right now is kind of crazy. 1 second applause to you, Antonymous. All right, what we got here? I am 607. Big thank you for the super chat. Catering to these rap fans got tossed off the charts. It's just not the era. We are in a shift. Things are moving. The easier it will be for people going forward, the more they understand that and respect that point of view. I say it all the time. I say this on chart report, particularly. I think that right now is one of those moments where if people have something to say that actually impacts and connects to what people around the world are really experiencing, they will have outside success. And I don't think that these guys' conversations is representative of where the world is right now. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. I'm going to step away for 1 second. I got to run to the restroom. I'll be right back. I'm just going to leave it up. We're going to leave it up and come right back. You guys be right back. All right, and we're back. And we're back. There we go. Step to my own court. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh. Brand new steps here. All right, here's the next section. Forgot all about these. I had lower thirds too. All right, so coming up next for the next section, I was really fascinated by this next story. As you guys know, I've been a very big BigXThaPlug fan. I've been like BigXThaPlug for probably 2 to 3 years now. BigXThaPlug has made it into my year-end piece that I do for Revolt every year, where I talk about the top albums of the year. And so we had Take Care in there. We had Amari in there. Amar. This is his son's name. I'm saying it wrong. I just think he's a great voice. I think his storytelling is really dope. I like his punchlines, even if he's punching in, right? And so I'm a big fan of BigXThaPlug. And so BigXThaPlug has been an artist I talked about quite a bit this year on Chart Report too, because he's been one of the most successful rappers, if not outside of Kendrick and Drake. He's probably the most successful rapper in terms of hit songs. And so he had a song called All the Way with Bailey Zimmerman that reached number 4 in the Hot 100. He has another song right now with Ella Langley, which is still within the top 50 on the Billboard Hot 100. His album, I Hope You're Happy, is a country rap album. It's pioneering in a sense. I mean, Nelly did one recently in 2020. I think Nelly actually put everybody, he was the first person to really truly bridge country and rap in an organic way with his collaborations with Tim McGraw over and over particularly. And so BigXThaPlug took it another step, and he worked with Darius Rucker on this album. He worked with Ella Langley, Bailey Zimmerman. He worked with Shabuzi. He worked with Jelly Roll. He worked with Zach Bryan, I think, or Luke Bryan, one of the Bryans. And had a lot of success, a whole lot of success. And yesterday, maybe the day before, BigXThaPlug started trending in the wrong direction. Now, I'm going to show you this clip that had people's perception of BigXThaPlug changing again. But there's a statement, here's a post right here that I think also is something that happened recently with BigXThaPlug. Royal Conquest says, another pod claimed Big X didn't write his rhymes. Is that true? Now, to say he didn't write his rhymes is a big extreme, but he did have one of his people in his camp wrote one of his songs. And so, or at least he said that one of his homies in his camp wrote one of his songs. Now, I understand where he is probably coming from, with that. Like, one thing that people will do is they'll give writing credits to, or let their people on their team write songs to help give them writing credits or help them make some money, right? I think that's probably more of what it is. But yeah, he's been open about having other people in his camp write with him, and I guess in that case, write for him. And I'm not surprised by that either, coming from the fact that he just spent all year working on a country album, right? I mean, Nashville is a writer's town. So when people get into those studios on Music Row or anywhere in Nashville, they're all writing together. And so I'm not surprised to hear some of that. I think maybe the song that they were talking about, I think that was The Largest, or one other song, I'm not sure. But all that falls in line with me. But yes, BigXThaPlug had to weather that too, right? So this new one really connects to something that I'm bothered by, just generally speaking. I have a real problem when people come up in hip hop and then all of a sudden start dissing hip hop. And so there's a lot of people who are taking what BigXThaPlug said here in this next clip that way. So here's the clip. This conversation took place in August. It was on New York Times Popcast. And so this was in promotion of his album, I Hope You're Happy. And so here's what he says, and then I'll break it down.
But then we'll post more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see. Share this type of stuff. Okay. All right. There we go. Got it. All right. So here's what they say.
Post Malone's Fox. He has a song on his country album called Losers.
I don't think you guys can hear that. Let me flip that.
I drink beer.
Why can't I hear that? It's not coming through my headphones. Why is that not coming through my headphones? So let's see.
He has a song on his country album called Losers.
Oh, guys, give me 1 second here.
Oh, yeah.
So interesting. Let's try this real fast. Let's see if this does it.
This artist.
Interesting. Let's see if this does it.
It's gonna move like this.
So weird. Can you guys hear that at all? Let me see. Can you guys hear this at all?
You know what I'm saying? This is how you gotta move if you go. And so yeah, I've been to.
Can you guys hear that? Okay, you can hear it. All right, so I'm just not hearing it. Okay. All right, well, if you guys can hear it, then we're good. Okay. Here's what we got.
Wow.
And then we come back, and I'm just trying to kind of change the narrative. And I got a country project on the way. And I thought about it after. I was like,
damn. I gotta stand on that now. You wouldn't be the first rapper to promise a project that never came out.
That's true. Country project that, you know, they're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? But then I said that, and then my team was like, well, you know you got to do it now, right? Yeah. And I'm like, it was, and then boom, maybe days later, you get Jelly Roll on the interview saying,
BigXThaPlug. I got a record with BigXThaPlug coming for sure. Okay. I'm working on it right now, X. It's coming soon. Don't drop the album without me, motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? Then we getting demo after demo from all these other artists, Ella Langley, ink, and it's just like
you did some writing with Ernst.
So what he's describing right here is how he ended up working with so many country artists. And so he was going through something with his girlfriend. He did an interview with Billboard. He said, I'm dropping a country album. And the country artist got really excited.
As well.
Yeah. I went to Tennessee, sat with him for a long. Him, Charlie.
Yep, Charlie Simpson, the God.
Man. Just sitting in there, they talked, like before I ever sat in the room with any country artist, I was in there with them. You know what I'm saying? And so they kind of gave me the whole breakdown on what I was about to look forward to. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This artist is going to move like this. You know what I'm saying? This is how you got to move if you're going. And so, yeah, I've been to a lot of bars.
You've been to Losers in Nashville?
I bet you have.
I actually think I went there with Post Malone.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Post Malone's spot. He has a song on his country album called Loser.
There was also a clip from a video that went viral this week of BigXThaPlug and Uyuk Gross himself.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was my first time ever. Like, I just knew that across the street they have great quesadillas.
Yeah.
And so I love to go because I get quesadillas, I would drink something, and I've never smoked so many cigarettes in my life.
Those guys know how to smoke a cigarette.
Man, I love it that I smoke. No. But Post has made it to where, like, okay, you don't drink beer. He got these little Welch's drinks that have alcohol in it.
Okay.
It tastes just like Welch's, though.
Okay.
Yeah, he had me drunk at the thing. And he had a show in Detroit. I was drunk off of Welch's drink. And it tastes like juice. You know, a lot of people was like, the response I got from the country lane, like all the artists, they were just like, I need it. I want to be on it. And I was like, whoa.
And you saw it as a commercial opportunity or an artistic one or both?
Artistic.
All right. So pay attention to this closely because this is the part right here that people have been very upset about. Very upset about BigXThaPlug. Very upset with BigXThaPlug about this part here. All right. So he just set it up. He asked him if he made the choice to do this country excursion. Was this basically an artistic decision?
And you saw it as a commercial opportunity or an artistic one or both?
Artistic.
Okay.
Because in my head, I was trying to, whatever I do, I want to be the best at it. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I'm not just a hip hop artist. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
If I could auto-tune some stuff up, I feel like I could be the best singer in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I do, I want to be the best at it. And so I want to be the best artist in the world. The only way I can do that is if I can show that I can do something other than rap.
I want to be the best artist in the world, and the only way I can do that is if I could show I could do something other than rap.
Tomato.
Because it's false. It's a very false statement. And we've seen this a number of times, right? There's this idea that somehow hip hop itself is limiting. Hip hop is limiting. And there's a long history of this, of course, but more than anything else, part of what I see here, because I will give grace and then I'll take it back real quick if that if that grace isn't respected. But part of what I see here is that he is interchanging hip hop and rap in this conversation. He is interchanging the two. And so what he's saying is, only way I can be the biggest in the world is if I could prove and show that I can do something other than rap, right? Now, I still don't like it at all, period, at all. But we've seen this, particularly with Post Malone is an example of this. We've seen this with Miley Cyrus. I mean, that's another example of this. We've seen a lot of people who still look at hip hop as limiting in 2025. In 2025, this isn't 1985. Hip hop itself is a sample-based genre. It's a sample-based genre. It evolves. That's why it's the biggest in the world. And so for him to frame it this way upset a lot of people. A lot of people were upset with BigXThaPlug because it is one of the things that people say about Black art in general. People feel like being big in the Black community or things that represent the Black community is limiting on a global scale, when the whole globe is moved and impacted by Black art, particularly Black music from America, in a way that no other genre, no other type of music is. No other type of music. All the major forms of music come from the Black community, are created by Black Americans, majority of the majors, not all of them. And Here's BigXThaPlug making an quote unquote artistic decision to do something other than rap because he feels like hip hop is limiting.
Tomato.
This is terrible. This is terrible. It's one of those things. Now, again, to give him grace on this, he is interchanging rap and hip hop. Let's listen to his statement one more time, and then we're going to go finish the rest of the quote, because I do think that part's important too.
But Post all in it tastes just like Wilson stuff. When I said it, a lot of people was like, I want to be on it. And I was like, well, that's just because in my head, I was trying to, whatever I do, I want to be the best at it. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I'm not just a hip hop artist, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
If I could auto-tune some stuff up, I feel like I could be the best singer in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I do, I want to be the best at it. And so I want to be the best artist in the world. The only way I can do that is if I can show that I can do something other than rap.
And go.
I don't even think that's the case. I mean, it's really, you know, it reminds me of. It reminds me a lot of Tommy Richmond, and we saw that last year with Tommy Richmond and $1 Million Baby. First week of May 2024 will be in history forever, because that's the height of Kendrick versus Drake, of course. And at the end of that week, Not Like Us was #1 and Euphoria was #3 on the charts. #2 was $1 Million Baby. When people look back at that time, when that story is told, one of the things that will be included in the story of this great Shakespearean shakedown is the number of artists who were scared to drop at that point in time. Big Sean almost became a funny, I don't want to say punchline, but like side mission, because he dropped his Return freestyle, and then the next day, Like That drops. Like That drops the next day. They were scared trying to figure out how to drop his project. Number of artists were pushing their music back because that conversation was so big that nothing else was cutting through. And the only thing that was cutting through, other than Not Like Us, Euphoria, Family Matters, Push-Ups, the only thing else that was cutting through was $1 Million Baby. $1 Million Baby, Tommy Richmond.
Tomato.
Because Tommy Richmond went out of his way, unprompted on his own, went out of his way to tweet that he's not a hip hop artist.
Tomato.
When Tommy Richmond did that, he was he had one of the 3 biggest songs on the planet, 100% embraced by rap DJs, hip hop culture, all the TikTok dances. It was helped and supported by hip hop. Once he came outside and said, on his own, unprompted, no, I'm not that. Don't think of me as them. I know it's tempting, but trust me, that ain't me. Despite the fact that all of his clothing designs, all of his attire that he wears in his video, all the imagery that he puts in all of his music, despite the fact that screams hip hop, screams it, he drew a line in the sand on his own, unprompted, for no reason. Tommy Richmond ain't been moving the same since. Well, I think he's been moving the same, but his music hasn't. That turned into a real thing. It turned into a conversation between him and DJ Head. He basically went on a little mini apology tour trying to clean up what he was saying. Oh, I didn't mean like I'm not hip hop. I'm just saying I'm more of an R&B artist, whatever it is. Putting the two different conversations next to each other. Hip hop is much bigger than just the genre of music itself. He had to talk to Elliott Wilson. He went to talk to a lot of people trying to clean that up. It was a big deal. It was a big, big deal. And it was completely unprompted. It was an unforced error on his own. Tommy Richmond's songs ain't been moving the same since. They have not been moving the same since. Recent history on one of the most exciting new artists last year, on the only artist that was able to cut through the most difficult time that I can ever remember in hip hop to try to cut through. And he just threw it away by framing things on his own, drawing a line in the sand about what he is and what he's not on his own. And that's what BigXThaPlug is doing right here. BigXThaPlug has been able to be the most exciting artist out of Texas, new artist out of Texas this decade, at least. He's got a distinguishing look, a distinguishing voice. He's got impactful storytelling. He makes pretty much, other than this project, all of his other stuff is street rap, gangster rap, trap tales, hustle stories. Gets around country for 3 seasons. 3 seasons. Goes and hangs out in Nashville for 3 seasons. And goes up to the New York Times podcast and says, hey, man, you know, I want to be the biggest artist. I can't do it hanging around these niggas.
Tomato.
It's terrible. It's an unforced error. And I don't think that he thought about this in that context when he was saying it. Perhaps this was part of what was driving his decision to go into country. But then again, he said that it was artistic. And I guess maybe that's what he means. And that's how it supports it. Right. But people in general, I don't think understand. How about this? I think there's a long history of people feeling like they can get away with disrespecting hip hop, get away with disrespecting rap music, and get away with disrespecting Black cultures. I think there's a long history of that. And I think that that has crept into the minds and the decision-making of not only the artists, but just regular citizens. I think a lot of people feel like, okay, I got to do this in order for me to be successful. I've got to get my code switching down in order for me to get this job, right? I can see where it comes from. And again, I'm giving him grace because he's using rap and hip hop interchangeably. Perhaps he's thinking he's talking about rap music. I can see an argument there. So I'll give him grace on that again. But this is one of those moments that we just saw with Tommy Richmond most recently. And we have BigXThaPlug who's spending all of his time in country now. This is where he is blown up. Like one of the biggest snubs at the Grammys this year is BigXThaPlug not being named for Best New Artist. That is a big snub, major snub. He's bringing cultures and communities together, and he goes to talk about it, and he starts deriding the one that actually made him in the first place.
Tomato.
I hate it. Hate all of this. I never liked this. Never liked this at all. This is where a lot of gross comes from on the chart report. We got chart report coming up next. This is where a lot of that comes from in the first place, right? When people feel like they have to diss their community, diss where they come from in order to find success. You can't just go on and just do your thing on your own. You can't just do that. You have to make statements like that. But that's not the only thing that really stands out to me about this clip, right? Because where he takes this next, I also think is a talking point. I do think the next thing he says is a talking point. So let's take a look.
The only way I can do that is if I can show that I can do something other than rap
and go out to the world.
Exactly.
Like it's like touring Europe. It's like I got to go visit with y'all and see what you guys have going on.
Rap's pretty global, by the way. Just so you know, rap and hip hop is all over the world. You can go to other countries with rap and hip hop.
Tomato.
And so with me saying that and us doing the whole country, we was like, bet, let's do it. And so we went head first into it. And we worked at that. We've probably been doing this country project maybe a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Pay attention to this part here, because I do think there's a lot of validity to what he says here.
Yeah, I mean, people in Nashville that I was talking to about it last year, you know, or like Ernest and those guys, like they were already either submitting songs or had done sessions with you all the way back then.
And at the same time, you have Take Care, your previous release.
That took maybe 6 months.
But that one was still...
He was working on the country album for a year and a half. Take Care, which is one of the best albums that came out last year. I put it on the Revolt Best Albums of the Year last year. He said he worked on that 30 days. Is that what he said?
Care, your previous release.
That took maybe 6 months.
But 6 months. So the country album took 18 months. The rap project took 6 months. Keep that in mind.
That one was still growing and growing, and you put out the deluxe, and the songs are in commercials and movies and going up on streaming. So you sort of you could let that do its thing in the background as you worked on this new phase.
But just still, I've never, ever spent that long on a project.
I've never spent that long on a project. He's talking about his country album. He's talking about how much time he spent in Nashville. Keep listening.
Is that because of the different production and writing approaches of the Nashville people.
The country music, for one, hip hop and country music, they both have the same base, which is storytelling.
Yes,
it all goes back to story. You can tell a good story, you can sell any record.
Yeah.
So with me, with that being said, but the country lane is still different. They put a lot more into it, and I think that's what made me love it. Like, it's a love-hate relationship. And I'm gonna be completely, it's a love-hate.
They put a lot more into it. It's a love-hate relationship. Watch how he closes this.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they put so much into it, but I hate the fact that the process is so long. Yeah, it's slow.
They're very detail oriented.
For sure.
Because so it was like, all right, this verse, it's not quite right. We need a different line here. We need a different rhyme here. We need a different word.
And I'm talking about they're so like, they go all the way to like just the cadence. Like,
of course.
Like, record this again.
I've watched Post Malone sit in a booth and just go like just trying to find his cadence for 30 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, that's cool that, you know what I'm saying, y'all start all the way from there, but
he was ready to get out the studio. They were working too hard. They were working too hard in country. They were sitting around for 30 minutes trying to get a cadence right. It's taken them 18 months to put the project together. Rap project come out 6 months. This is 3 times that. I've never done that. Look at the clock. I gotta go. I'm not sure if you notice how icy my wrist is right now, but it's telling me, all right, let's wrap this up.
I got places to be.
So, but like I said, it's a love-hate relationship. But I love that they care about the story. Like, it never changes. It's always gonna be a story. It's always gonna be a storyline. Rap music, I love rap. I love hip hop, but I feel like that's what it has been missing.
Well,
that's what it has been missing. That's what it has been missing. That's where he ends at. That's where BigXThaPlug takes it. Now, I think that we can always look at outliers in our space and what's happening in hip hop, particularly over the past, particularly since the onset of Fruity Loops, perhaps is a good example, right? Particularly since the onset of Fruity Loops, right? But what he's saying has a lot of validity to it. And we have been in this era of surprise drops, of this era of putting together really fast projects. We have so many artists who are the antithesis of what he's talking about, right? Kendrick is the antithesis of that, generally speaking. You know, J. Cole. I mean, I don't know how long we've been waiting on the fall off. I think it's the worst name ever, and I think he's speaking it into existence, but he's been working on it for a long time. There's a ton of great Big Crit, phenomenal artist who puts a lot of effort into his music before he puts it out. But even if you look back in the day, outside of Jay-Z for a long time, and maybe things are happening with No Limit, but Jay-Z dropping quality projects the way he did throughout his career, dropping one a year, dropping annually and coming up with crazy stuff, that was outside of the norm. Everyone else is taking 2-3 years to put things together. Outkast 2-3 years, Nas 2-3 years. You start looking at this was the case. You start looking at what happened. If you look at the Dr. Dre family tree, the way that BigXThaPlug is talking about Post Malone sitting there for 30 minutes, trying to get the cadence right, that sounds like every story from anybody in the Dr. Dre family tree. All of them talk about how Dr. Dre will sit there and make you say something over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Somewhere along the way, speed and volume started carrying a lot more weight in what's happening in hip hop. And I can remember that time. I mean, you're talking 2010, almost to last year, when you start having artists who are running it up on SoundCloud, the streaming era, the fact that, I can make something real quick, drop it, and start trying to cash checks almost immediately. Speed, convenience started taking over a whole lot more strategic space in this space than that was previously. BigXThaPlug, while he's sitting here saying he gotta go do something other than hip hop, he wants to be the biggest in the world, is also saying, man, it's taking too long to do this. It's taking me too long to do something other than hip hop. I'm trying to go back to hip hop, where I don't have to work as hard, where I can put out stuff faster. What is happening to our space? I saw this conversation. This conversation has been going up for the past 2 days, and I agree with everything they said. I've done multiple pieces, editorial pieces, video pieces, think pieces, published pieces on this particular issue of people who feel like they have to diss the culture in order to expand. It is one of my biggest pet peeves. But this one is so crazy because his final point is something I also am very passionate about. People putting out music fast because perhaps it's a super fan environment. Perhaps it's streaming. Perhaps I just need to get money quick. Perhaps a label sitting around saying, hey, does it make sense to develop this artist, or does it make sense to try to put the right people in the room together to make some music when I can just wait and see how something's performing on streaming or how their own social movement is moving before I decide to pull the trigger on anything? It's external, but it's also internal. Well, I remember Lil Wayne, the Carter documentary before the Carter 3 came out. Carter documentary. Man, the Carter documentary. It blew people's minds because that was the first time we had seen someone, for the most part, with a mobile studio. So he would pull his microphone out the bag and he would record on the bus. He'd pull his microphone out the bag and he'd record in the hotel room, right? You had Jay-Z who was telling people that he didn't write his rhymes. Well, if you've read Jay-Z's book, Decoded, you'll understand that he is writing his rhymes in his head, which is completely different. He described a scenario where he would go to Trenton, New Jersey when he was still selling drugs. And he'd be out there in Trenton, New Jersey. And he couldn't have a pen and pad, obviously, if you're standing on the corner. Writing something down in the corner sounds like a liability. He couldn't use a pen and pad, so he got used to reciting his rhymes in his head. I've always had a petrifying fear of public speaking throughout the course of my career, which is why I do it for a living now. I have a problem with fear. Like, I have a fear of fear. So usually when I'm scared of something, I'm like, man, I clearly need to go attack that because something good is going to be on the other side. One of the ways that helped me get through my fear of public speaking is to really study what it is that I have to say in front of people. So you just start reading and remembering and reciting whatever it is that you're going to say. That's what Hov describes in Decoded. He's not necessarily, like, you do that for long enough, you become very fast at these things. So it wasn't like he just decided, I'm not going to write rhymes. I'm just going to figure this out on the spot. He had been doing that for so long. He had been doing that out of necessity, and he honed a skill. That inspired people to say, oh, I should probably not write rhymes too. Let me just punch in. BigXThaPlug does a lot of punching in too, by the way. But he says, let me just punch in. People don't necessarily see how you get to the point or get to where you are. They just feel like, oh, this is the thing to do. This is faster. This is more convenient. Oh, I can come up with something hot like that. You have all of that influence. You have the streaming influence. You have the changing nature of the business, and you have A&Rs and executives saying it's not necessarily worth it to invest and develop an artist in the same way. All of those things, in my opinion, have led to this era we're in, or at least led to this pattern of people putting out really fast rap albums. The history of hip hop says something otherwise. The history of hip hop says, yo, if you look at all these classics, they didn't come out that fast. If you look at all these classics, they really worked on them. They spent time honing their craft. They spent time figuring out what they wanted to talk about. They've spent time getting their performance right, their vocals right, etc. And that was a long time ago now. So much so that BigXThaPlug is going viral for inadvertently dissing hip hop on his way to saying he wants to be the biggest person in the space, but also confessing that, yeah, rap's a lot easier. And I'm not actually sure I'm really built for this 18-month process to get it right. The irony of him saying that, while he has the biggest project that he's put out so far, he's got the most success that he's ever had on the charts. He's got more broader recognition by collaborating with so many different country artists. He understands the Nashville process in a different kind of way. The fact that he experienced all that and his takeaway was, yeah, I got to get back to rap, man. I don't got the time to be working this hard on my music. That is crazy. It is crazy to me. And it's extremely disappointing on all fronts. I like the fact that he pointed it out. I don't like the fact that that's his takeaway. His takeaway was, I shouldn't be working this hard to sell people music. I like the fact that he experimented quite a bit with this project here. I hate the fact that he's framing it as if you can't be the biggest in the world by just doing hip hop. I think BigXThaPlug is wildly talented. He is incredibly talented. I don't see a world where BigXThaPlug is ever as big as Kendrick Lamar. I don't see that world. I don't see a world where BigXThaPlug is ever as big as Jay-Z. I don't see that world. I don't see a world where BigXThaPlug is ever as big as Future. I don't see that world. Perhaps things will change in the future, but BigXThaPlug's analysis.
Tomato.
One of my favorite new artists out here kicking word vomit. We got a super chat. What's it say? I am 607. Punched in raps can't be performed. Slippery slope. Now, BigXThaPlug did a viral performance of the largest. They went in the apartment. I love that song. In front of an orchestra. And I am 607 is correct. He needed his hype man. There was parts where he couldn't even. I mean, I looked at it more so like he's definitely a hefty fellow. So perhaps his breath control is a little bit more challenging in certain aspects of it. But you're right. Punchline raps have a challenge, have a difficulty being performed live. And so there was a lot of people who were very upset at what BigXThaPlug had to say. And so take a look at this right here. This is from the great master student at Music Builds. Everybody should follow Music Builds. He's one of my favorite, all-time favorite Twitter posters. And I love his analysis. And so, wait, that's the wrong one. Still follow him anyway. Either way. Where is he at? Here it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, shout out to Music Builds. 1 second applause. That was for the other segment that I didn't do it on. But either way, this one comes from Mimi, the music blogger. Okay, so Mimi, the music blogger says, in response to BigXThaPlug, the undertone, saying I'm not just a hip hop artist, trying to say hip hop has limitation, rap is craft, hip hop is culture. If you excel in it, you are already an artist. There's nothing lesser about it. When artists frame it this way, it usually reveals two things. One, they want mainstream validation and think distancing themselves from hip hop helps. And two, they have internalized the industry's bias that rap is lower art. That is the part that feels off. If you want to experiment, say that. If you want range, show it. But you don't need to downplay the culture that built you. Perfect. 1 second applause. No notes. Yeah, this one right here. This is from L Dialogue. Hey, yo, man, all you rap dudes that don't want to be rappers when you're around them other folks, move aside, because at this point, y'all are a major problem that need to be called out in the culture going into 2026. I'm with you, L Dialogue. 1 second applause to you too. Larry Legend. Shout out to I am 607. He's speaking your language. He says, he says, a nigga who punched in all his raps cannot say, I am not just a rapper, I'm an artist. You ain't even did the rap shit good enough to start evolving. The shots, the shades, the accuracy. 1 second applause. We've got Task the old nerdy bastard. I like that, old nerdy bastard. Hip hop's the only art where people who actively participate in it also downplay it. It's really strange. You don't hear country music artists saying, I don't want to be known as a country artist. The fuck you mean you don't want to be just a hip hop artist? Your name is BigXThaPlug. His name is, I'm sorry, too much truth. 1 second applause. We got this one from my brother Screwface John. Shout out to Screwface. He says, this whole I'm more than a rapper, I'm an artist shit is just another way to devalue black art. But the wild thing is some of the biggest pushers of this have always been people in hip hop. We have been conditioned to treat rap like a lick, not an art form. Another example is I'm not a rapper, I'm a hustler. Or I'm not a rapper, I'm a trapper. I hated that era. I hated that era. When Jeezy came out saying that was the same thing to me. That was the same thing. And I don't think that works in reverse. Like, I don't think someone could say, I'm not a trapper, I'm a rapper, and they'd be on the corner moving snow and people not get upset. I think people would be very upset if someone came onto their corner, to their trap house, started trapping in their trap house and said, oh, no, I'm not a trapper, I'm a rapper, but still eating off the trapping. I don't think it works in reverse. I didn't like that era either. Great call out right there, Screw. Here's what he said. Or anything that always felt like self-hate and expressed views that are made by people who don't value anything black. I think we inherited this from the system that told us the ice is always colder. Whenever someone stops rapping and does anything else, it's looked at like an evolution because we look at rap as below us. A rapper can stop rapping and have less successful movie career, and they will act like it's an evolution because deep down, we have learned to not value what we create. A lot of US don't value hip hop. Rap is art. Rappers are some of the best artists, period. You got to really ask yourself, why do we always try to separate rap from art? And what does that say about those who believe that? Insightful and incisive, as always, Screwface John, 1 second applause. And we got one more over here. Curtis King, my brother Curtis King, shout out to Curtis. He says, if hip hop welcomes you in, champions your music, and you're able to elevate and venture into new environments in your music career as a result, don't take a shit on the welcome mat on the way out the door. 1 second applause. And I don't even think that's necessarily BigXThaPlug's one way out the door. I don't think BigXThaPlug is planning on going out the door. I think he took a detour, realized it was too hard to make music in country, and said, I need to go back to the low barrier to entry rap era. Let me go put out some fast raps again. Let me keep my lick going that way. All this story to me is just an example of someone, or at least the latest artist, obviously, who is willing to drop a deuce on the culture that's paying him, that's giving him a livelihood, that's helped him amass wealth, that actually helped him get out of jail. I mean, part of the conversation that was in this, one of the more interesting parts of this conversation that he was having on podcast was him talking about his come up, talking about how when he was in solitary confinement, he was going crazy sitting there counting bricks. And he screamed through the prison walls at the other inmates, as people in the next cells. And he was like, hey, how y'all keep y'allself from going crazy in here? And someone told him, maybe you should try writing something down. So BigXThaPlug started writing raps. That's how his career started. His career started that way. You have someone who, again, another someone whose entire opportunity has been afforded to him by a craft and a culture that has shaped and changed the world and is the biggest on the planet. And now he's saying, I got to go to country because I want to be big. And also, actually, country's too hard. It takes too long. They're working too hard. I think this says quite a bit about BigXThaPlug, but I also think what he's saying says quite a bit about where hip hop is currently. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section. Let me know if you guys are going to be listening to BigXThaPlug in the future. Let me know if you guys have heard this BigXThaPlug album as well. I'm not sure I'm really ready to kick BigXThaPlug out the playlist, but my man is sincerely and severely on notice. He got to be more influential than this. He's got to be more responsible than this. Word up. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying over here. Let's see. Mikey, baby, hip hop would be better off without these clowns in the first place. Yeah, 1 second applause. I feel that. Too many interlopers. Let's see, I am 607 says, does it come from growing up thinking about leaving where we come from? Does that start this pattern of thinking? I think that's part of it. I do think that there is a connection to that. I do think that people who are, I think, particularly Black people, I think we're growing up thinking that the hood is irredeemable, or it's better to invest in yourself outside of the hood rather than invest in yourself in the hood. And so I do think there's a connection to that too. Andy Pandy, shout out to Andy Pandy. Biggie didn't write for Jay. Yeah, that's true. We didn't. Yeah. Well, she comes with the facts. 1 second applause. And let's get one more in here. Seems Seems to be only Southern artists with this mentality. Now, these are two stories in a row, right? We got the guys in the barbershop saying nobody wants to hear real shit. Nobody wants to hear lyrics. You got BigXThaPlug saying, actually, in order to do lyrics, I gotta leave. Oh my gosh, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. We're gonna start with this last one. Shot by Fabby says, so when he disappoints you again, Justin, you can't blame him. Stop giving these dudes second chances. Hey man, look, just because I'm not necessarily ready to write somebody completely off doesn't mean that I'm not ready to, doesn't mean that I'm still elevating them in the same way. People grow, people evolve, and I don't think that should ever be lost in these conversations too. And I think it's really the second time, because I don't make second mistakes. That's something that don't happen. Oh, okay. Well, what's the Batman quote? Ah, man, I don't have to save you this time. 1 second applause to Batman. All right. It's Tuesday. You know what happens on Tuesday. You know how we do this every Tuesday. Chart report. Time for a brand new chart report. That's what we do here on Tuesdays. Now, this is going to be my first live chart report. I don't think I've done one live. Oh, I haven't done any of these live. So these are all like first time live things. And so I actually did make a banner for chart report. So let's make a banner right now for chart report. Chart report. Chart report. Boom. Chart report. We do it every Tuesday. Chart report. Now, chart report for people who might be tuning in for the first time. We go through the Billboard Hot 100 and we go through the top 20 of the Billboard 200 each week. I do this more so to understand what's happening in the business of selling music. And there's always interesting anecdotes. I think that every song kind of has. I'm not going to go through and applause every song. Applauses are generally for songs I like or for rap songs in general. But let's take a look at what's happening in Chart Report this week. They actually put it up late in the day today. So this was, been looking out for it all day. And here we are back at number one, still at number one. This is a 200 or the Hot 100. Still at number one, Taylor Swift, The Fate of Ophelia. Last week, number one, peak position number one, 6 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. I listened to this song again, and I think I said this last week or maybe the week before with this Taylor Swift album. It's not for me, dog. It's not for me. But, you know, shout out to people who love it. Number two, Golden, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. Last week, number two, peak position number one, 21 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Golden is still doing this thing. This is from K-pop Demon Hunters, probably the biggest phenomenon in entertainment this year. I think it's in the running for that. I think that's fair to say. And it spawned a number of hits, but none bigger than Golden. Golden is actually the only song from K-pop Demon Hunters that is nominated for a Grammy in this year's Grammy Awards. Closest thing to a real song of the summer came out in the summer. Has been running it up ever since. And so I think it's one of those songs that is big because of the phenomenon more than it's big because of the strength of the song. But I like the song too. So 1 second, pause. Number three, Ordinary, Alex Warren. Last week, number three, peak position number one, 40 weeks on the chart. I called this one when it dropped. But this one also is a bit of a phenomenon too. I think Alex Warren, as from reputationally, I think he is had a lot of TikTok success, a lot of YouTube success. And I think this song blew up. But there's another interesting thing about Alex Warren is that he's up for Best New Artist, but none of his songs were nominated for any awards at this year's Grammys either. Right. So you have Alex Warren. I think Ordinary was actually the declared song of the summer per Billboard anyway. And it's not up for any awards too. So I think that there is an argument here that while Alex Warren has a whole lot of virality and a lot of TikTok success, there still is a gap in terms of Alex Warren's ability to be respected by some of his peers. Maybe I'm overstating that. Let me know in the comment section. 1 second applause to Alex Warren. Number four, Man I Need, Olivia Dean. Called this one right out the gate too. Those of you guys who have been watching Chart Report weekly, I have a pattern of saying, oh, I like this song. I think it's got a lot of legs. I think it's a lot of opportunity for this song in the future. And these back-to-back, these two right here back-to-back were two examples of that. Olivia Dean, straight out the UK. Her album is now officially platinum. 1 second applause. I take that back. It's not platinum, 1 billion streams. 1 second applause. There we go. Officially 1 billion streams. It came out 5 weeks ago, maybe. And just a really talented artist, really talented songwriter. I like this song quite a bit. Shout out to Olivia Dean. 1 second applause. Number five, Opalite, Taylor Swift. Number six, Daisies, Justin Bieber. Number seven said, Baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. Woo! Love Leon Thomas. Leon Thomas is on a streak that I really appreciate. He deserves everything that he continues to earn. I've been a big fan of this project, big fan of this song. It's now solidly inside the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's been that way for the past 4 weeks or so. Last week was number 6, peak position number 7, 41 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Leon Thomas. Number 8, Folded, Kehlani, another great story. Great story to me. Kehlani was under fire at the beginning of this year and late last year for her position on Palestine, and has been fighting all kinds of barriers based off of her. What do they say? How do they always say this? Differing opinion, based on her differing opinion, and has come out just incredibly, in my opinion. I think Folded is probably one of the biggest songs. It's one of the biggest songs of the year without question. And this is her most successful song ever. It's up for multiple Grammy Awards. I just think she really deserves it all. Last week, number 7, peak position number 7, 22 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Kehlani. Number 9, I Got Better. No, you didn't. It was gross. Number 10, Back to Friends, Somber. Last week, number 11, peak position 10, 33 weeks on the chart. New peak. Somber is a artist from New York. He dropped out of school to become a musician, and it actually worked out. And so he is up for Best New Artist at the Grammys this year as well. I do like this song, Back to Friends, quite a bit. This project is actually pretty decent. Pretty decent. And I don't think there's that many things that I would find exciting on sort of the rock side of things right now. I think Somber's doing a good job. 1 second applause to Somber. All right, number 11, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Last week, 31, peak position number 1, 73 weeks on the chart. We're going to see the slow march of Mariah Carey back to number 1. This is one of the biggest songs in the Billboard Hot 100 chart history. And you can't really walk into a retail store without hearing it. I went into Uniqlo today. They were playing it. 1 second applause to Uniqlo and Mariah Carey. Number 12, Traveling Soldier, Cody Johnson and the Rockin' CJB, new entrant. 1 second applause. 13, Last Christmas, Wham. 14, What I Want, Il Yuck Gross featuring Tate McRae. 15, Soda Pop, Soulja Boys, Andrew Troy, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. Last week, number 12, peak position number 3. 20 weeks on the chart, also from K-Pop Demon Hunters. This song is the second K-Pop Demon Hunters song from the soundtrack on the charts this week. And so what we are now seeing is that Golden has officially separated itself from the rest of this hyper-viral soundtrack. There was a point in time on the Hot 100 earlier this summer where you had 4 to 5 joints each week from K-Pop Demon Hunters sitting squarely in the top 10, and that was for a long period of time. And so now you don't get the second one until the top 15, so I think maybe the phenomenon is dying down a little bit, and Soda Pop is the next one up. Big shout out to Soda Pop. 1 second applause. Oh, you can't see the screen. Okay, well, we'll just pop in right now to where it is. There we go. That's better. Technical difficulty. You know, what do they say? Nothing starts off dope. Episode 1. Is that better? Can you guys see that now? I think you guys can see that now. Let me see. Yep. Okay. You guys can see that now. All right. Here we go. Number 16, It Depends. Chris Brown featuring Bryson Tiller. Last week, 16, peak position 16 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Chris Brown, last year was Residuals, and this year It Depends. And I think he's just one of the most bankable artists. I still get a kick out of all those video clips from him in South Africa, flying from stage to stage across that stadium is one of the wildest things I've ever seen. He's also up for multiple Grammy nominations this year. Let me know what you think about this song, It Depends. Chris Brown featuring Bryson Tiller. Again, 1 second applause. 17, Elizabeth Taylor, Taylor Swift. 18, Tears, Sabrina Carpenter. 19, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee, re-entry. 20, Jingle Bell Rock, Barry Helms, re-entry. It's Christmas time. It's that type of year. You're going to hear all kinds of bells, and you're also going to hear all kinds of sirens in the background because that's what's happening at my house right now. 1 second applause. Number 21, Choosing Texas, Ella Langley. 22, Love Me Not, Raven Lenae, one of my favorite songs of the year last week, number 19, peak position 5, 33 weeks on the chart. Let me know what you guys think about Love Me Not, Raven Lenae. This song, I believe, peaked at number 5 this year. It's also one of the biggest R&B songs of the year. And so far, if you look at this, you've got Raven Lenae. Obviously, you got Mariah Carey. You got It Depends, Chris Brown and Bryson Tiller. You've got Folded, Kehlani. You've got Mutt, Leon Thomas. You've got Man I Need, Olivia Dean. And so right here in the top 22, at least already, you have 7 R&B songs. All right, so R&B is very healthy right now. We haven't found our first rap track yet, but it's coming up soon. 23, Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter. 24, Your Idol, Saja Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. 25, Tit for Tat, Tate McRae. 26, Wish List, Taylor Swift. 27, How It's Done, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Anuna, and Ray Ami. 28, Father Figure, Taylor Swift. 29, So Easy to Fall in Love, Olivia Dean. Last week, number 44, P position 29, 7 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Olivia Dean. 2 songs in the top 40. It's all happening. Number 30, Santa Tell Me, re-entry, Ariana Grande. 31, Gabriella Cat's Eye. 32, What It Sounds Like, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. 33, Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter. 34, Don't Mind If I Do, Riley Green featuring Ella Langley. 35, Happen to Me, Russell Dickerson. 36, No Broke Boys, Disco Lines, and Tinashe. Love this song too. Last week, 36. Peak position 36, New Peak. 18 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 37, 6 months later, Morgan Maroney. 38, Dracula, Tame Impala. I'll rock with this one too. Last week, number 30, P position number 37 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 39, Somewhere Over Laredo, Lainey Wilson. And 40, WGFT, Gunna featuring Burna Boy. Last week, number 50, peak position 40, 14 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. This song has been rising every week, just about every week since it dropped. The only time it's really had a step back on the charts has been when Cardi B dropped and when Taylor Swift dropped. Now, this starts a new streak of rap back in the top 40. Rap back in the top 40. Big story a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about how this is the first time in hip-hop in 35 years where there wasn't a rap song in the top 40. Now, Taylor Swift was a big part of that. Also, Billboard changing its recurrent rules was a big part of that. That kicked Luther out of the top 40. The next week, what's her name? The next week, Meg Thee Stallion started that streak again with her latest release. And then last week, there was no rap in the top 40 again. And now there's rap in the top 40 once again. So we have a brand new streak of rap in the top 40 that's happening, courtesy of Gunna featuring Burna Boy. Now, this is I think it's official to say this is the biggest song from Gunna's most recent release. I think that Gunna put this project out pretty quickly because of situation between him and Young Thug, of course. This was his last song as part of their record deal. And he still have found a way to land into the top 40, which is something we can't say about Thug's U.Y. Scuddy. So every time I look at Gunna on these charts and I think about the year that was, I'm reminded all the time that Young Thug.
Tomato.
Big shout out to Gunna. 1 second applause. 41, Underneath the Christmas Tree. Kelly, under 40, 41, Under the Tree, Underneath the Tree. That was hard to say. That shouldn't be that difficult to say. 41, Underneath the Tree, Kelly Clarkson, re-entry. 1 second applause. 42, Ruin the Friendship, Taylor Swift. 43, Takedown, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. You still see quite a bit of K-pop Demon Hunters on this chart. If you're looking from a project standpoint, it's still K-pop Demon Hunters and it's still Taylor Swift that's running the majority of the charts so far. 1 second applause. 44, Free, Rumi, Genu, EJ, and Andrew Choi, also from K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. 45, Is It a Crime, Mariah the Scientist, and Kali Uchis. Last week, 53, peak position 45, 14 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Mariah the Scientist has traded Burning Blue for It Is a Crime, rapidly approaching the top 40. I also expected to see Mariah the Scientist nominated for something in the R&B category at the Grammys this year, but she arguably was snubbed. I mean, Burning Blue was definitely one of the most successful R&B songs on the Billboard Hot 100 the majority of the year. And now she has Is It a Crime that's rapidly approaching the top 42. Let me know if you guys think that Mariah the Scientist deserved a Grammy nomination this year. Because I was actually shocked to see that she wasn't nominated for anything. I think she's really talented. 1 second applause to her. 46, Hell at Night, BigXThaPlug. Are we at the point where we're calling ew, yuck, Big X? I don't think so. I don't think we're all the way there yet. I think that's a special connotation. He didn't necessarily diss hip-hop. He downplayed hip-hop in a very trope-like manner, I guess. But nevertheless, Hell at Night at number 46, featuring Ella Langley. Last week, 52, peak position 35, 14 weeks off the chart. 1 second applause. 1 second applause to BigXThaPlug. 47, It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year, Andy Williams, re-entry. 48, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé, his version of it. It's good to see. This interesting to see up there. Re-entry as well. 49, Yukon, Justin Bieber. 50, the Christmas song, Merry Christmas to You. Nat King Cole. Big shout out to Nat King Cole. 1 second applause. There used to be the show that came on when I was a kid called Natalie Cole's The Big Break. The Big Break. And The Big Break was it was like Star Search. It was a competition performance show. And I think that's the show where this group called R. Kelly and MGM ended up being the winner of the first season. And that was the first time I ever heard the name R. Kelly. Was on Nat King Cole's daughter, Natalie King Cole's show, The Big Break. I don't know why that's relevant, but I found it interesting. 1 second applause. 51, Shot Calling, Young Boy Never Broke Again. Last week, 47, peak position 43, 9 weeks on the chart. One of the biggest rap songs in the year. One of the biggest rap stories in the year, truthfully, when it comes from Young Boy Never Broke Again. I mean, over the past couple of weeks, he's been the only rap artist with multiple songs in the Hot 100. And so you have NBA YoungBoy with Shot Calling. He's got another song that we'll see later with Mellow Racks. Let me know if you guys are fans of NBA Young. I still call him NBA YoungBoy, but YoungBoy Never Broke Again. I think that the next story that we're going to cover right before I get to these reaction videos, I think it's really funny in conjunction with YoungBoy Never Broke Again, because YoungBoy's got a hold on the YNs. Something serious. Shout out to YoungBoy. 1 second applause. 52, Darlin, Chase Matthews. 53, House Again, Hudson Westbrook. 54, Nice to Meet You, Miles Smith. Last week, 61, peak position 54, 23 weeks on the chart. Another song I've been talking about quite a bit. I'm a big fan of Miles Smith. He had a great song last year called Stargazing that was very successful. And he's slowly creeping up the charts again. They're putting money into him. I think he deserves it. 1 second applause to him. 55, 20 Cigarettes, Il Yuck Gross. 56, Jealous Type, Doja Cat. Last week, 58, peak position 28, 12 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 57, Eldest Daughter, Taylor Swift. 58, Where Is My Husband? I don't know. Every week you ask me, I still don't know. By Ray, last week, 65, peak position 58, 7 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause for the funniest song title on this list. 59, Back in the Saddle, Luke Combs. 60, Wood, Taylor Swift. 61, Actually Romantic, Taylor Swift. 62, Better Me For You, Brown Eyes, Max McDowell. 63, Out the Window, Kehlani. Got another one on the Hot 100. New entry, 1 second applause. She Deserves It All. 64, Canceled, Taylor Swift. 65, Last One to Know, Gavin Addict. 66, 12 to 12, Somber. 67, Safe, Cardi B featuring Kehlani. Last week, 59, peak position 26, 8 weeks on the chart. This has been the most successful song that we've seen from Cardi B's Am I the Drama project. I still really enjoy. It's a fun listen. And one of my favorite songs of the year is on it. We'll see that in the charts here in a few. I also think that we're going to see a lot more promotion around this project coming up soon because Cardi B has just delivered her baby. 1 second applause. That's awesome. And she has a tour starting in February. I definitely want to see her live. I know that energy is going to be insane. She hasn't really done a tour in 7 years since her first project came out, I think. And so there's going to be a lot to talk about with Cardi B in the coming months. And this is, again, Cardi B featuring Kehlani. This is Safe. It's one of the standout tracks from her album. And I just think it's a really sweet sentiment that she's conveying on this song. 1 second applause. 66, The Fall, Cody Johnson. 68, The Fall, Cody Johnson. 69, Sugar on My Tongue, Tyler, the Creator. My shoulder is better. My shoulder is better, guys. 1 second applause to me. I hurt my shoulder on leg day listening to Sugar on My Tongue by Tyler, the Creator, off his new album, Don't Tap the Glass. I was doing lunges and lunged my shoulder out my shoulder. But I'm all better now. And so I'm not sure if I'll need any more shoulder updates going forward. Let's hope I don't need any more shoulder updates going forward. Interesting thing about this song, this album, Don't Tap the Glass, is nominated for Best Alternative Album. So Tyler has Chromacopia nominated for Album of the Year. He has Chromacopia nominated for Best Rap Album. And he has Don't Tap the Glass nominated for Best Alternative Album, which is just a crazy accomplishment and a crazy testament to how talented Tyler, the Creator, is. I just wish Billboard would fix this thumbnail because this song is not on this album. So 1 second applause to Tyler and
Tomato
to Billboard. 70, Went Legit, G Herbo, one of my favorite songs this year. Last week, number 78, peak position 70, 17 weeks on the chart. G Herbo just dropped his latest project, Lil Herb. Going back to the name, I haven't listened to it yet, but if it sounds anything like this song, I'm excited to take a listen to it. 1 second, applause to G Herbo. 71, Honey, Taylor Swift. 72, A Couple Minutes, Olivia Dean. 3 songs from Olivia Dean in the Hot 100. Last week, number 83, peak position 72. 3 weeks on the chart. 1 second, applause to Olivia Dean. 73, Take Me Through There, Metro Boomin, Quavo, Brisky, and YK Niche. She's all over the place. Last week, 69, peak position 69. 7 weeks on the chart. 1 second, applause. 74, When Did You Get Hot? Sabrina Carpenter. 75, The Dead Dance, Lady Gaga. 76, Sparks, Coldplay. 77, Camera, Ed Sheeran. 78, What Kind of Man? Parker McCollum. 79, Past Won't Leave My Bed, Joji. Interesting title, too. I'm going to have to look at this one next week and see if this actually might take Where's My Husband as the best title on this chart. Past Won't Leave My Bed. Past Won't Leave My Bed. I haven't heard this song. Let me know in the comments with you guys if you heard this song and what you think about it, because that's a headline. Past Won't Leave My Bed. What's she talking about? 1 second. 80, How Far Does a Goodbye Go? Jason Aldean. 81, Days Like This, Luke Combs. 82, La Perla, Rosalia and Yatza y Su Esencia. New entry. Now, I saw Rosalia trending this weekend because she said she wants to work with Kendrick Lamar. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to feel like all these clips of celebrities saying they want to work with Kendrick Lamar, or Kendrick Lamar is their favorite artist. It's starting to feel pretty trendy right now. No shots, no shade. Obviously, people can be genuine about what they're saying, but there still is a heavy, I mentioned Kendrick Lamar, I can go viral sentiment that's happening in the media. Because not even just YouTubers, but you will see outlets who will write stories about that. You know, I saw that in a number of outlets. I think Variety did a story on it, if I'm not mistaken. I think Billboard did a story on it, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not, I'm not saying she's disingenuous. It's not really about her at all, but those stories are still working for virality. And there's a number of artists that we've seen recently who have put out new music and found a way to champion King K. Dot from Compton, California. 1 second, plus. 83, Heart of Stone, Jelly Roll. 84, Amen, Shabuzi, and Jelly Roll. Love that song. 85, What You Is, Young Boy Never Broke Again, and Mellow Racks. Last week, 81, peak position 75, 6 weeks on the chart. 1 second, applause. 86, Sienna, The Marias. 87, Strategy, Twice. 88, Airtime. Bottles after bottles after bottles in this motherfucker. Love that song. Love this song so much. Re-entry, peak position 43, 7 weeks on the chart. This has a lot to do with the remix dropping. She dropped a remix to Airtime that has Jeezy. So now there's 2 remixes to this song. There's a lot of remix that already came out. Jeezy's on it now. And then if you go to streaming, there's a 3rd version that has Jeezy and Lotto on it. So I'd expect this to be the next video. I think this is the song that has stood up on its own the most off of Am I the Drama. It's a song I love from the beginning. And I think that I'm very excited to see what the visuals end up looking like. I don't know if she's going to do a video of just her doing the song, or if she's going to have a video with both Lotto and Jeezy in there. Or maybe she has multiple videos with both of them in separate videos. We shall see. Let me know which one you'd prefer. Love this song again. 1 second, applause to Cardi B. 89, Beautiful Things, Megan Maroney. 90, favorite country song, Hardy. 91, nice to see each other. Olivia Dean coming in at number 4, or at least 4 songs in the Billboard Hot 100. Last week, number 100, peak position 88, 5 weeks on the chart. 1 second, applause. 92, Takedown, Zhang Yang, Ziyu, and Che Young of Twice. 93, Amore, re-entry, Emmanuel Cortez. 94, Let Down, Radiohead. 95, 321, Tucker Wetmore. 96, Come and Go, Yeet. 97, Pixelated Kisses, Joji, re-entry. 98, Nobody's Son, Sabrina Carpenter. 99, I Ain't Coming Back, Il Yuck Gross, featuring Il Yuck Gross. And 100, 3 a.m., Low Shimmy and Don Toliver. Big fan of this song, too. Last week, 99. Peak position, 99, 3 weeks on the chart. 1 second, applause. All right. That is the Hot 100. As always, let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section. Let's go over to the Billboard 200. We look at the top 20 on the 200 charts each week to understand the business of selling music a little bit better. Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift still sitting at number 1, 6 weeks in a row. Not a surprise at all. I said this last week again. I think the only thing that could dethrone Taylor Swift between now and the end of the year is a surprise drop from Kendrick Lamar. I'd put Drake in that category too. I think those are Iceman and whatever, if Kendrick decides to drop something, probably would be the only things that could knock this out the number 1 spot between now and the end of the year. 1 second, applause to Taylor Swift. Number 2, I'm the Problem. Yes, you are. Ooh, yuck, gross. Number 3, K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. Number 4, Lux Rosalia. Peak position number 4, new entrant. 1 second applause. 5, The Art of Loving, Olivia Dean. Last week, number 7, peak position number 5, 7 weeks on the chart. 6, Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter. Last week, 6, peak position 1, 11 weeks on the chart. 7, SOS SZA. Last week, number 8, peak position number 1, 153 weeks on the chart. There have been babies who were born who are now talking since this project came out, and it's still sitting in the top 10. That's an accomplishment. 1 second applause. Number 8, Am I the Drama? Cardi B. Last week, number 10, peak position number 1, 8 weeks on the chart. Still the best performing rap album of since it's come out. This project, I think, maybe dropped out of the top 10 1 week, if I'm not mistaken. That might even be a reach. It might have been in the top 10 the entire time. I wish they had a stat here for whatever the lowest was. Like, how far did it jump back up? Well, big shout out to Cardi B. 1 second applause. Number 9, One Thing at a Time, Ilya Gross. Number 10, No Labels, Part 01 EP, Yu Jun. Number 11, I Barely Know Her, Somber. Number 12, Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party, Haley Williams. Okay. Number 13, You'll Be All Right, Kid, Alex Warren. Number 14, Stick Season, Noah Kahan. Number 14 was that one. 15 is this one, Lil Herb, G Herbo. 1 second applause, new entrant. Number 16, Dangerous, the double album. Number 17, Debbie TR, Mas Photos, Bad Bunny. Last week, number 12, peak position number 1, 45 weeks on the chart. You know, the more I think about this album of the year, historic album of the year, nominations at the Grammys, right? Debbie TR, Mas Photos is nominated. Sabrina Carpenter's Man's Best Friend is nominated. Lady Gaga's Mayhem is nominated. Leon Thomas Mutt is nominated. Kendrick Lamar GNX is nominated. Tyler the Creator Chromacopia is nominated. And Clipse Let God Sort Him Out is nominated. The more I think about this, the more time that goes by, I really feel like Bad Bunny's probably going to win this. And here's 2 reasons why I say that. That's a lot of hip hop in one category is one, right? I think that splits the hip hop body in a real way, in a very real way. You know, I think it'll be difficult for any one of those albums to get the hip hop community support, for the entire hip hop community voting body to vote for that one project. I think that's going to split some votes there. And 2, this is actually the first time the Grammys has allowed a Spanish-speaking. This is the first time a Spanish language album has been nominated for Album of the Year. And this is obviously all the things around the Super Bowl, obviously all the things that are around the story of Bad Bunny this year. Obviously things are happening culturally with just ICE and abductions taking place all over America. But I also can see the entire Spanish-speaking body jumping behind this. And so we just had the Latin Grammy Awards this week, and Bad Bunny was the biggest winner. Of course, I don't know if there's another album this year of any language or any genre that can really touch Bad Bunny, or very few albums that can touch Bad Bunny. And I just think he's best well-positioned to take that home. I hope one of the rap albums wins, but let me know what you guys think about that in the comments section. 1 second applause for Bad Bunny. 18, Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter. 19, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. And 20, So Close to What, Tate McRae. That is this week's Billboard Hot 100, Billboard Hot 100, and Billboard 200 chart report. We got through another chart report, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Thank you for listening and tuning in to this week's chart report. I have a few reaction videos that I'm going to do next, but there's one story I want to cover before I get to these reaction videos. Let me know in the comment section, too, if you guys are rocking with episode 1 of the Company Man Show. Episode 1 of the Company Man Show. I'm having a good time. I mean, I have a good time in life, generally speaking. You know, I was raised an only child and have no problem finding ways to laugh and entertain myself. Well, you know, it's all happening. All right, so where are we at? This story I thought was so funny. So during the chart report, we saw 2 NBA YoungBoy songs, and we saw Shot Callin', and we saw the one with Mellow Racks. I can't think of what it's called. And man, YoungBoy has a hold. He has a hold on the YN community in a way we've never seen. I mean, he's been putting up He's been selling out arenas. He did like a 60-stop arena tour of just young people filling the stadium. All YN community has just been like all young thug everything. All young boy everything, right? I think his backstory has a lot of lore to it. Him getting out of jail and all the things he's been fighting is really identifies with that demographic or with young people in general. But there's been this trend that's been going on. And it's called YNs reached their grown and sexy era. That's what the trend is called. And I don't know how sincere any of this really is. I don't know if this is just like TikTok spoof stuff, but there's a lot of them. And I think if you think about it from an age standpoint, that's probably the case. And I think we've seen this obviously over the course of our lives. Everyone remembers when people were dressing really young and really fun. And then all of a sudden people start dressing like they're trying to get into like they have to have the right pair of shoes on to get into the club. 1 second applause if you remember the first time you tried to get into the club and they told you you had the wrong pair of shoes on. I remember mine. I had Steve Madden's in the no sneakers at all era. Had to walk to a bar. So with that, here's a couple of clips of what I'm talking about when I say that there's a trend going on. Take a look at this. All right, let's take a look at this one. Where is that? This is actually funny. So this guy says, I meme, therefore I am. I uploaded this yesterday. Nearly 1 million people already love this video. Spoiler, you will too. Listen to this. Transition from the beginning says, transition from a YN to a quarter zip. To a quarter zip. See, we went from, when we changed clothes, we were wearing button downs. They changed clothes and they're doing quarter zips. Shout out to quarter zips. 1 second applause to quarter zips. Check a look. He's got the quarters, he's got his tracksuit, he's got his shiesty, he's got his quarter zip, he's got his pants, he's ironing his pants, putting his pants up. Belt, throwing away the track pants, throwing away the J's, got the boots, suited and booted, we suited and booted, took the track, ironed in the button down. He got an iron, he's got steam in the iron. Looking great, got the belt. Looks like he's got a little snake on the belt. No snap, not the Oxford tie, and the quarter zip. Gotta have the quarter zip. Look at him, dressed, fresh, ready for success. We got the watch, we got the chain, we got the flex. My man looks like he's ready to be a Gap model. Shout out to Gap models on the treadmill with the bag, not the treadmill with the bag. He doing it. 1 second applause. That's so funny to me, yo. Oh my God, I saw that. I was dying laughing. But wait, there's more. Here's another one. It says, Gen Z entering their business casual era. We really heading back to 2008. Gen Z men are now dishing Nike techs and replacing them with quarter zips. More quarter zips. 1 second applause to quarter zips. Check out these fellas.
And one more thing. We're quarter zip dudes now. We don't do those Nike techs. No Amiri, no purple.
No Amiri.
None of that. Not even aloe. Quarter zips. We don't
quarter zips.
Drink Arizonas. We drink Starbucks.
Starbucks. No more Arizonas. That is a price hike, by the way. These cats got jobs. 1 second applause for jobs.
Quarter zips. Very demure. And we go to
very demure.
This is what I got. A breakfast muffin from Starbucks.
Breakfast muffin. This one's funny. Pay attention to this. I die laughing at this one every time.
I got a cookie. I'm not getting no more snacks.
I got a cookie. I'm not getting no more snacks. I guess where you buy your cookie from. You know what I mean? It's not Arizona cookies and bodega cookies no more. It is Starbucks cookies. No more snacks. Totally different category. 1 second applause.
We don't eat Lay's.
We keep our health very demure, very respectable, straight up young man.
When I run down, I don't ask for IGs, I ask for LinkedIn. Let me get a connection with you.
When I run down, I ask for LinkedIn's. It's not IG no more. Let me get your LinkedIn. Let me get a connection. What's my man say? May I meet with you? This is great. 1 second applause.
Let's build something. Let's go
on a coffee chat. Let's go.
Let's go on a walk.
Yeah, I have a business proposal for you. Me and you.
I have a business proposal for you.
For the future.
See, yo, what you got on, bro?
I got on Ralph Lauren in my quarter zip.
What do you got?
I got on Ralph Lauren in my quarter zip.
Got on?
Got on H&M on my.
Listen, I got Zara on my quarter zip. Respectfully.
I got Zara my quarter zip. Respectfully.
Respect us, man. Respect us.
Invisible.
I love this. I love this. I love seeing this kind of stuff. And I love the fact that, you know, we're able to capture these sort of transitions in real time, in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember this so vividly. I remember when you all of a sudden had to have the right pair of shoes on to get into the club. And now we're seeing it with Gen Z. We've been sitting around talking about how, you know, these cats wear shiesties everywhere and tracksuits. And then you've got when we were doing the UK versus US rap battle, they were sitting there talking about, we're the ones that brought tracksuits into the equation. All these post-COVID outfit masked up. We're out of that now. Now it's all about the quarter zip. We got one more for you here. This one says, I love Black Boy Joy. Can we see more of this? We tired of seeing Pooh Shiesties and these kids turning up at a YB concert. Okay, listen to these kids.
What y'all doing, yo?
We quarter zip guys. We don't do none of that artificially flavored stuff. We do quarter zips and we drink matchas.
Them shit's like $10 a piece. Yo, parents.
It's only $6.70, not too much.
That's what they
$6.70, not too much.
They got money on yo.
Yes, the brother.
Quarter zip guys.
Black Lives Matter.
This is great. 1 second applause. So we have a new trend. Perhaps it's a trend, perhaps it's a life moment. But they're drinking matchas. No more Lays. The Lays are gone. No snacks, just Starbucks cookies. I would love to see a stadium full of kids like this with their quarter zips at a YB concert. I would love to see that. Is that next? Is the attire going to change at a YB concert? Does YB need to change some of his lyrics? It's time to change some of his lyrics and things he's rapping about. His fans are now quarter zips. I'm sorry. I love this. I love this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Let me check some of these super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. I mean, they really go a long way in helping to continue to forward what we're building here. Future episodes of the Company Man Show will always have a guest, you know. And I'm someone who always felt like if you need a guest to have a show, then you don't have a show. And really, that's been the reason why I've done so many things by myself. Like, not by myself, but like, you know, so many things where I needed to work on whether or not I can hold down an audience, whether I can hold people's attention on my own from multiple platforms. But you will see that, and you also see a big announcement that I'll be making very soon with a project that I'll be putting out next. But super chat. So thank you guys so much. Super sticker. Thank you, Earth Ned. I think I got that right. 1 second applause to Earth Ned. Earth Ned, love your channel. Thank you so much, Earth Ned. Thank you so much. 1 second applause. Kenny Sloth, listen all the time. First live. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much too, Kenny. 1 second applause. I appreciate you there, brother. All right, we've got 3 reaction videos, and we're gonna have the end of the show. Let's see what. Maybe I should go put on a quarter zip. Should I change it to a quarter zip? Are we now in quarter zip territory? I'm not gonna do it tonight, but maybe next episode we could rock quarter zips like YB fans. One of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. Now, we're gonna get this reaction in right now. I was so excited for this. Again, I can't wait to hear or see the video for this song. But Cardi B's Airtime, to me, is not only one of the standout songs off Am I the Drama, but to me, it is one of the standout songs of the year. Like, from a song standpoint, it's top 5, top 6 for me this year. I listened to it during my post-gym walks. I listen to it while I'm in the gym. I listen to it in the car. I listen to it when I'm cleaning the house. Like, the song has got range. And the other thing I love about the song is that it's basically all hooks. It is just a series of hooks. Like, it's not, the second verse I think is more of a traditional verse, but this song in particular, it keeps me locked in because every 4 bars, it's like, more hook. Just hook me with the hooks, all hooks. And so we've seen the Airtime remix with Lotto, and now we have the Airtime remix with Jeezy. Now, there's no video yet, but I do want to react to the song. I haven't spent as much time with the song itself as I have with previous versions of the song, the original version and the previous remix. So I'm not all the way tapped into what Jeezy's talking about. So let's listen to this song and let's see what you guys think.
Cardi B, I got you, baby. You already know what it is. Yeah. Slow and smooth ass criminal. Teddy P, Easy E. That billionaire status. Robert Smith, Gary V. How you like bad and bougie? Holly Berry, Cardi B. Caesar, Snowy Cutting, Red Alert, Kick Capri.
Red Alert, Kick Capri.
Snow Mountain, you can ski. Tim Rich for a show, damn right, that's the fee.
Okay.
Lunch, yeah, niggas, damn right, I never fold. Snowman, bitch, yeah, this shit I say is cold. Bitch lose me, she lost her motherfucking mind.
So that's a flip off what she says on the song.
I say it's cold. Bitch lose me, she lost her motherfucking mind. If you ain't in my league, don't waste my motherfucking time. Like the black Brad Pitt up out this motherfucker. No diaper, I'm the shit up out this motherfucker. Carios, we got it hit up out this motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it lit up out this motherfucker.
Y'all, let me know if y'all rocking with this in the comment section.
YNs ain't rocking with, still snowing, and that's fine. D Richard, shorty red, sure gon' do it. Somebody better get her, cause she out here.
Oh man, Jeezy. I'm gonna have to listen to that again. Now, I don't know necessarily what I was expecting from a Jeezy feature. I think the energy is there. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like Jeezy. I'm not sure if it adds to the song though. You know, and I say that for a particular reason. Jeezy's verse comes in first. Here. And I'm not sure that's the best idea because Cardi's verse sounds a lot stronger on this track to me than Jeezy. Ironically. Like, listen to how Jeezy ends his verse, and let's listen to Cardi when she comes in.
This motherfucker, the YNs ain't rocking with, still snowing, and that's fine. D Richard, shorty red, sure gon' do it. Somebody better get her, cause she out here looking fun. Better pop your shit because I'm out here popping mine.
Yo, I just feel like she's harder on this track than Jeezy is. Am I wrong? Am I off on this? I feel like Jeezy actually bringing the song down. Like, to start the song, as hard as this song comes in, somebody better get her because she out here looking fine. Better pop his shit because I'm out here popping my. How does Jeezy start this? Let's hear this one more time. Hold on.
Cardi B, I got you, baby. You already know what it is. Yeah. Slow and smooth ass criminal. Teddy P, Easy E. That billionaire status. Robert Smith, Gary V. How you like bad and bougie? Holly Berry, Cardi B. Drought season, Snowy Cutting, Red Alert, Kick Capri.
I don't know, yo. I don't know. I feel like Cardi B's voice is so crazy on this, and it cuts through this track something special. And Jeezy's, regardless of whether his verse is cool, I mean, it feels like a standard Jeezy verse more than anything else. But like, this song comes in like hit the earth with a comet. Okay, this song comes in like, somebody better get her, cause she got. And then here's Jeezy. Cardi B. Like, his verse is solid to me again, but like, to start the song, even the Lotto version of the song, I think sounds like harder than the way Jeezy comes in. I think he's perfect for the song, but I don't know if he should start the song. Like, I'm not sure he should be starting this song. Let's skip over here to the end of his verse so I can get to the Cardi B part style. Like,
no diaper, I'm the shit up out this motherfucker. Carios, we got it hit up out this motherfucker. Gasolina, yeah, we got it lit up out this motherfucker. The YNs ain't rocking with, still snowing, and that's fine. D Richard, shorty red, sure gon' do it.
Body better get it, cause she out here looking fine.
Better pop your shit because I'm
out here popping mine.
The way these diamonds hitting bitches,
then be going blind.
Julio gon' do the trick
every time.
Nigga lose me, you know that nigga out his
Tell her make a hit, she in the stew, just wasting time.
If I take a nigga, I don't wanna hear no crime.
Cause I ain't say
shit when hoes was out here fucking mine. Outside running, I'ma shine
all summer.
Badass bitch, I know that every nigga
Wanna.
Real fine shit, man, I get it from my mother.
I'll beat her up.
Fuck your band, fuck your brother.
Bottles after bottles after bottles in this. All my friends' tens look like models. Bitches throwing ass, need some dollars. Bad yellow, look like in this crazy. Back to the hook. The whole song is a hook. It's just hook. All that is just hook. Hook, 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 hook. That's why I don't think that like Jeezy should have started the song. Like you got Jeezy coming after that. The whole verse is a hook. This is a fantastic song. This is one of those songs I hope is in a whole bunch of movies going forward. I would love to see this like synced all over the place. I don't know what would have to happen in the world for me to get tired of this song. I would love to see a version with Waka Flocka Flame. Like this reminds me of what's that? Waka Flocka Flame, one hood ass ride. I would love to hear Waka on this. I just don't think that. I don't think that Jeezy should have started this song. Hold on, let's play some more of it.
Because I'm out here popping mine. The way these diamonds hitting bitches, damn near going blind.
And the Don Julio go do the trick every time.
Nigga lose me, you know that nigga
Out his mind.
Tell her make a hit, she in the studio.
Just wasting time.
If I take a nigga, I don't wanna
hear no crime.
Cause I ain't say shit when hoes was out here fucking mine.
Crazy. I love that song. I love that song. All right, so I'm gonna give the remix here, the Jeezy version of this remix. I'm gonna give it 7.6 second applause. And I just think the song is arranged poorly. Like I legitimately think Cardi should have started the song. Get everybody hyped to hear what Jeezy got to say. And perhaps even structuring the song this way is an indicator about how people felt about the Jeezy verse. Like, I think the verse is fine, but in comparison to the energy that Cardi has on it, I'm not sure if that's even from a retention standpoint. Like, if I was listening to this on Rap Caviar and I went from the previous song and this song came on and I got to wait to get to Cardi B, I don't know if I might just skip to Cardi B or I might skip past. I don't even know. I think that the energy that Cardi has is what dominates this song, just in general. And I feel like Jeezy's out of place on it. Now, I know that there's another version that's available that has Jeezy and Lotto on it, and I haven't listened to that one yet. And perhaps that's why they did it this way. Like perhaps they wanted Jeezy up front, to get the male ear to hear this song, right? A lot of times it can be a challenge to have men listen to raps from women. So perhaps that's part of it. Perhaps they were just like, let's put Jeezy up front so we get more dudes that can check out the track. Because we know that this song's a banger. We just need more people to go with it. Perhaps that's the strategy here. Perhaps when you listen to all three of them, they sound good. You know what I'm saying? For me, as a lover of the original, this is like old school in the 90s where it's like you had to wait for your favorite verses. Like that's what this makes me feel like. All right, let me get past this part so I can get to my bottles after bottles after bottles. Jeezy didn't even say bottles after. He should have said bottles after bottles. Lotto said bottles after bottles. Everyone got the assignment. I'm not mad at this at all. 7.6 second applause for this song here. Let me know what you guys saying about this. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying. Justin was rocking out for sure. It's one of my favorite songs of the year. Andy Petty, I think he was subbing his ex-wife. I mean, I have to listen to the lyrics closer, but I mean, that's one thing rap is great at. Rap is great at subs. Black Healer, I think they structured the song this way because Lotto Remix came out first and they needed to switch it up for the second remix. I mean, sure, I think that's possible, but you could have Jeezy in between. I mean, what I just said earlier, I think is possibly part of this. You know what I mean? Like you want to get guys to listen to the song more and there can be some resistance there. But if Jeezy's on the song, man, and Jeezy's one of your favorite artists, a lot of times you'll still wait to hear what your favorite artist did on it. I don't know what the right answer is, but it does switch it up. And I do agree that it's a different look for this song because the 2 previous versions we've heard have been Cardi up front. And so on this one, it does switch it up. So, that's what it is. Let's see what this says. Because I ain't say shit with hoses out here all summer. So hard. I love that one. Second applause. Great quote. What did Diego say? This is beyond hype. Exactly. It's an amazing song. This should have been the lead single to me. Outside, I get it. You got to let Offset know before you take him to court. You're going to fight all the way. And also you need him to let him know that his mama know that he's a bitch, right? I get it. I get the setup. I think this would have gone a lot harder this summer than Outside ended up being because this song right here is just fantastic. All right, so big shout out to Cardi B. Big shout out to Airtime Remix. Shout out to Jeezy. I'm not mad at what he did on there. 1 second applause overall. 7.6 seconds is the rating. And let's move on to the next one. Clipse F.I.C.O reaction. I'm excited about this one too. I've been excited about this one. Let God Sort Him Out. Obviously one of my favorite songs of the year. I think obviously it's one of the best projects of the year, in general. It's one of my favorite albums in a very long time. Let God Sort Him Out, GNX, Westside Gun 12. Probably my 3 favorite albums in terms of like favorite, away from like Leon Thomas Mutt. Been listening to a lot of Leon Thomas. But Westside Gun 12 is crazy. Right? I've been a longtime fan of Stove God Cooks, who is featured on this song. And the Clipse rollout has been special all year long. The rollout and then also the additional media support that they've been making. I think all of it is just fantastic. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a sign of showing how new people or how legacy acts, truthfully, anybody can take this model and continue to work their music, which is something that, as we see with BigXThaPlug, you make fast music and you just put it out. 1 second applause. Psych.
Tomato.
BigXThaPlug. But I think there's a lot of things that people can learn from what Clipse just did. And F.I.C.O, best hook of the year. Hook of the year to me. And it was a blowout for hook of the year all year until Airtime came out. That's all hooks. Pick a hook, any hook. But F.I.C.O still to me has hook of the year. Okay. And so they have a video that they released. Clipse has a video for F.I.C.O that came out. And so let's take a look at this. Let's react to this. Love this. Let me know what you guys think about this song in the comment section as well. Let's take a look. You think this is Boston? Do you think this is Buffalo? I was trying to place where they are. It feels northeastern, but it doesn't feel like New York City to me. Let me know if you think this is in Buffalo. Let me see. What's that shot? Okay, got the sneakers. All right, so here's train. I mean, is it New York City? Does Buffalo have a subway system? Let me know in the comment section if Buffalo has a subway system. Maybe it's New York and I'm just not familiar with this. Maybe somewhere in Queens. I really don't know that much about Queens. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I lived in New York by myself for 10 years and basically with 2 parents from New York, you spend a lot of time there. Don't go to Queens for anything but flights and sporting events. 1 second applause to Queens. Maybe that's where this is. 1 second applause.
Memories don't stay still, they drift. Every moment, a new crack in the glass.
The cinematography has been amazing with all their visuals. So be it's up for Grammy for Video of the Year, for example. But just the visuals they put out have been really, really powerful. The visual for Chains and Whips looks a lot like Squabble Up, which is based off of the Root song. I can't remember which Root song, so there's a lineage to that one. Just phenomenally shot. And it looks like this is carrying on that same tradition.
And just when you think you've seen it all, it shatters.
I'm sorry. I just saw the funniest thing. It said, according to the comedian, it's not Atlanta because there's no bridges, because there's bridges in here. Exactly. These guys just talking. And they weren't funny. 1 second plus. All right. I like that one. Big shout out to you, Diego. Appreciate you.
I remember late nights, pissy hallways,
driving me psycho.
The money wouldn't come fast enough. We was back and forth down streamline.
That what instrument? What is that in the background? That is that a string, or is that a keyboard sound? Like, or what is that? Let me know if you guys know what that is. I'm pretty good with instruments, but that one just sounds so crazy to me.
I remember late nights, pissy hallways, driving me psycho. The money wouldn't come fast enough. We was back and forth down streamline, moving weight was like lipo. The rest of y'all stuck in the rut. Niggas double cross and talk behind your back. See, that's where the knife go. I guess they wasn't fucking.
Look at that, right? Look at this shot. Look at this shot. The So Be It video has that part at the end where there's like a rotating cascade of Pusha T's face just going around. That always stands out to me. But this to me is such a drug dealer shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like Nino Brown going into the Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like, floors below this, there's Pookie and Chris Rock and everybody smoking crack, and there's a bunch of naked people bottling up the crack and pilling up the crack or whatever. and then the Kingpins are over here just checking on their operation. I also think that this shot really feels like, you know what I'm saying, like brotherhood in a weird way. Like, I got your back. You do your thing. I love that. 1 second applause.
With us, some niggas get the luck of the draw. For others, life is a dice roll, and waiting on faith ain't for us. When you young, you realize
that you can't trust the mouth where the pipe go.
They tried but couldn't love you enough.
Dance music on my neck. Where's your water bottle? Diamonds the light show. Looking like the sun in the club. I love that line so much. And it's like, it doesn't even really rhyme. Dance, what'd you say? He said, dance music on my neck. Where's your water bottle? Diamonds a light show. Looking like the sun in the club. Like, it doesn't even really rhyme. It's one of my favorite lines this year. It's just so smooth the way it comes out.
Can't trust the mouth where the pipe go. They tried but couldn't love you enough. Dance music on my neck. Where's your water bottle? Diamonds the light show. Looking like the sun in the club. If you reading up with us, then your credit score gotta be FICO. I'm talking 850 a bust. See, you really willpower when you make niggas balance on tight ropes. They know they not much for the blood.
Look at that shot too. That's a hard shot right there.
Willpower when you make niggas balance on tight ropes. They know they not.
Look at that shot. That's a crazy shot right there too. Their visuals are nuts. 1 second applause.
Much for the blood. Have my man shoot your block. I'ma send his ass far as the flight go. Ain't worry about ducking the judge.
Keep frontin' on your bitches, cause any minute repo might show. You know that shit up in the month. Like, the disdain they have. The disdain they have for broke, whack people trying to step on greatness. Keep fronting for your bitches, because any minute repo might show. You know that shit's up in a month. I ain't got them problems. That's what his face looks like. We ain't got them problems. 1 second applause.
Your man was in there singing for his life. They was calling a maestro, cause time that heavy can crush. When you pay a nigga back like it's layaway, whispering, die slow. The last words you hear in the trunk. You don't know what I know.
Hook of the year.
You ain't seen what I saw.
Stove God Cooks.
Oh, no, you ain't been where I go.
With a fatty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed.
My shooter turn you inside out. I heard the feds turned the crib inside out. Drop the roof on you niggas, let the inside out.
Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook them till the inside out. One of the things I'm so excited about with the rise in prominence of Stove God Cooks is the fact that he sings hooks. He's a hook monster, and he sings his hooks, but it's aggressive street rap. It is a gutter approach to it, right? And one of the things that I've been missing, and I think personally, I think it contributes to what we're talking about with people making songs really fast and hip hop and how the changing landscape or whatever, you get a lot of repetitive hooks in that same era in the same way. And when Stove God comes on, he is elevating the song. Like, the verses on here are immaculate. And for this odd off-kilter, nasally sort of high octave hook to come in, but then kicking entendres within it while singing, I would love for this to be the trend. I would be so happy if more people start to say, hey, yo, this is a good idea. This is a good idea. Hey, can you come sing on our hooks too? Can you sing about drugs and Fetty Wap on our hooks too? 1 second, plus.
I saw no, you ain't been where I go. With a Fetty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed.
My shooter turn you inside out.
I heard the feds turned the crib
inside out.
Drop the roof on you niggas, let the
inside out.
Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook them to the
inside out.
Go get a Glock 27, fit snug in the waistline. Both sticks came with the drum. I was 5'6", shoulder with a chip. Push a nigga to take mine. Index yank till it's numb. Used to call me Windex, cause the thing I sprayed gon' make you change minds. I done seen Hercules run. We was powerlifting 2.2s. Nah, we ain't throw gang signs. My brick walk was second to none. I would have them take a number like DMV. That was the baseline. Check out on register 1. Miami niggas like Big Perm, cause their numbers was phased on. Cuban showed me nothing but love. When it come down to it, every string of bells just needs an Avon. Who won't sweep.
That's a crazy shot right here too. Yeah, there are direction all over. This is immaculate.
Fit under the rug, on the road with a load near the brake line. I knew where to place mine. I don't keep the gun in the glove. Hit the turnpike with the running lights that be on in the daytime. Cause K9 sniff out a crumb. Hands 3 and 9 on the wheel as I'm crossing the state line.
Dumb diddy, dumb diddy, dumb.
Survival of the fittest. You either get acquitted or FaceTime. I done
out
had an infamous run. My story gon' hit the first 48. Then it's on Dateline. Cause this really shit I done.
So that's one thing that I didn't know. I didn't realize about this verse until I saw Dissect Podcast. Shout out to Dissect Podcast. Colo's dope. 1 second, plus. That his bars, he's counting up to 48. So when he ends the verse with my story's gonna hit the first 48, then it's on Dateline because this really shit I done. Every number that he drops in there adds up to 48 at the end of it. I didn't even think to look for that one. But I love Easter eggs. 1 second, applause.
You don't know what I know. You ain't seen what I saw. No, you ain't been where I go. With a Fetty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed.
That's a hard shot. Look at this.
With a Fetty so
Look at that. That's crazy.
strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed.
My shooter turn you inside out.
I heard the feds turn the crib
inside out. Uh-oh, looks like the invasion is taking place.
Drop the roof on you niggas, let the inside out. Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook them to the inside out.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. One of my favorite songs of the year. Definitely verse of the year. 8.1 second applause. One of the, just a crazy. This might be the closest thing I've seen in a minute to like a no-hitter. A no-hitter in rap. I think Kendrick dropped a no-hitter last year in rap. I don't think there was anything. I mean, truthfully, you can still say his no-hitter is still going. I don't think that he has missed on anything he has dropped in the past 2 years at least. And I think that Malice is pitching a no-hitter right now. You know what I mean? Or an all-hitter. I don't know what the baseball term is. I just became a bandwagon Dodger fan a week before they won the championship. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this isn't necessarily my space for a metaphor. But if you take all Malice's verse on Let God Sort Him Out, you take his verse on Community, on Jids, I think he has the best verse on that song. And Malice is in the middle of a perfect game. Maybe that's what it is, a perfect game. Right. He is in the middle of a perfect game. I think all of his verses are just so clean, crisp. The metaphors are simple, yet deep, yet dope. And it's really inspiring because it's a great example of being able to veer off what other people have defined as your course, or to take a risk, or to separate yourself from something that isn't working for you. And wait for the timing to be right and to come back and arguably better than you've ever been. And I think that's what we're witnessing right now with Malice. I think that verse right there is a great example. I think one of the things that makes the Clipse story so compelling is I don't think people really anticipated Malice to be this good. I don't think people ever doubted Malice as being dope. I don't think they expected him to be this good. And I think that there's been a lot of time between Clipse projects that we've heard to where I don't think it's at the forefront of people's minds how special their dynamic is on the track together. Push is amazing with the luxury. He's amazing with the bravado. He's amazing with the drug dealing pictures he paints. He's amazing with the just the ruthlessness that comes through on his tracks. And Malice is the perfect balance to that, because Malice doesn't kick a verse, period, that doesn't add consequence to the content. When you listen to Malice, and even on his solo projects, when you listen to Malice, you get the full picture, the full scope of what it is that they're describing. And when you have them together, over Pharrell's production on this project, which was heavily criticized at the beginning of the year, particularly because Chad Hugo wasn't there. And I think a lot of people appreciate what Chad brings to the Neptunes, because Chad would bring all those weird, quirky things. He was great at that. And that will always put them in a different category from a production standpoint. But what Pharrell did on this is that he was able to capture luxury, but also maturation really well. And so what was lost in some of those quirky, sounds and offbeat synergies that the Neptunes tend to find that put their music in a different place. What you have here is a level of soulfulness and light that help really highlight a lot of the messaging that is on this project as a whole. And so I think it's a fantastic story. And, the battle for who's going to win Rap Album of the Year is currently in place. And I think between GNX and Let God Sort Them Out, and truthfully, Chromacopia too. I mean, all three of these are very different projects that are incredibly high quality. And so I'm going to do a piece on, I don't know if I'm going to call it Grammy predictions, but I'm going to script a piece around the Grammys. And so I'll let everybody know who I think will win and who I want to win in that category. But honestly, in the Rap Album of the Year category, for the first time in a very long time, to me, I feel like there actually are no losers. This is some heavy duty things that we're seeing here. And so big shout out to Clipse, big shout out to Malice and Pusha, and No, Let God Sort Them Out. 1 second, applause. All right, so we got one more video. It's a new video that dropped from a group of a collective that put out another song off their project last week. And so this is from VisionPlay, and it's PC Kai Cash. This is actually one of the coolest stories of the year too, right? So Kai Cash is on this project. Kai Cash was one of the big standout new names that made a huge difference during the Joey Badass back and forth. Kai Cash out of New York really made a name for himself. He's on this project. And so is Young Chris, from State Property fame. So let's take a look at this, and it's going to be our last video of the day. Let's see what we got. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section.
How y'all niggas think y'all on my level? I done did it all. You still chipping in for bottles.
Shout out to VisionPlay, J.Y. Williams, their project. Vision Season's out now.
Ace of spades for me, and the bitches get the tequila. You hear me?
Still
New York shit right here. I fuck with it.
Tearing the streets up, shooting so young I could pay him in V-bucks. Come from the land of a couple grams, still stuck in the blender. Now we sitting courtside like the public defender.
Courtside like the public defender. 1 second, please.
From passing grills, the fiends on the corner. The vacuum seal.
So this is Rain 910. Rain is from Fayetteville. Incredible producer. Really incredible rapper too. This is PC right here. Goes by Punchline Champ.
Aroma, I need my diploma. Graduated the keys of the coca, but started with a P like pneumonia.
Started with a P like pneumonia. 2 second applause. That's crazy. Listen to this foot.
The fiends on the corner. The vacuum seals deceased the aroma. I need my diploma. Graduated the keys of the coca, but started with a P like pneumonia.
Graduated to keys of the coca, but started with a P like the pneumonia. Started with, that's hard. That's hard. I'm sorry. 1 second applause. That's crazy.
Diploma, graduated the keys of the coca, but started with a P like pneumonia. Who gon' walk down this runway with ya? I get your family all together like a Sunday dinner. I click and squeeze, try to think of the members of Triple C's, but shit, all I know is gunplay, niggas. Punt.
Last time I had a situation.
That's crazy. That's punchline heavy. 1 second applause.
I took his bitch out.
This looks like one of the masks that you can get on Ghost of Tsushima. My favorite video game is Ghost of Tsushima. Shout out to Jin Sakai. 1 second applause. And it's a game about being a samurai. Then your whole samurai clan gets murdered by the Mongols. So you have to gradually evolve from a samurai to a ninja and start being more covert. And this reminds me of one of the masks. It's not. I haven't played the new one yet, but that's my favorite video game IP that's out. I can't wait for the new one. I'm going to check it out over the holidays. But 1 second applause to this mask for reminding me of my favorite video game.
Mistake. The nigga thought he was gonna run down on me. I said, chill the fuck out, cause B.I. boom you. And that's on Stacy's son. You need to know your fucking role.
Walls start closing when your pocket's not loaded. It's a war
So it's young Chris right here. Young Chris, straight up state property.
going on outside, we get unholy.
Oh, my bad. Excuse me. Kai Cash. It's Kai Cash. Let's start it over.
Walls start closing when your pocket's not loaded. It's a war going on outside, we get unholy. I'm parallel to scammers in the trap, niggas bow whipping.
Kai Cash is one of these cats out in New York right now who's best in position to bring some energy back to the city. That's something I really care about, something really personal to me in general. And I love the way that Kai Cash is repping right now.
Thought he was gonna run down on me. I said, chill the fuck out, cause B.I. boom you. And that's on Stacy's son. You need to know your fucking role.
Walls start closing when your pocket's not loaded. It's a war going on outside, we get unholy. I'm parallel to scammers in the trap, niggas bow whipping. Put us all together, know we all got one motive. Made a lane out of hunger like I seen niggas puncturing they veins from a youngin'. I assume they did nothing right. And that a fit cost a month, stay out in London. Making plays in the towns like I'm Jeff Van Gundy. I can't rap out no bricks, no stash house, no zips, but I can show you how to stay away from niggas that do everything but get rich.
I love that. I ain't rap about this, but I can show you how to stay away from niggas who do everything but get rich. That's hard. 1 second.
It costs a month, stay out in London. Making plays in the towns like I'm Jeff Van Gundy. I can't rap out no bricks, no stash house, no zips, but I can show you how to stay away from niggas that do everything but get rich. I can show you how to cross state lines, go Bayside for a trip. With a slim bitch who waistline is the same size as a wrist.
Told y'all leave him alone.
That's a small waistline.
In the league of his own. I was 16 when I first took a seat at the throne. Fresh off the step, baby tech, never leaving the home. Killing my lungs, killing my liver, so much weed and Patron. Let a nigga try me, get bodied, I'm giving out passes, my homes. Gripping that ratchet and blasted, I'm giving out caskets and stones. Purple heart dripping in chrome, double C's on my lady. On the tour with cash money, been getting money like baby. I park that bitch on the pavement, 63 on the occasion.
Yo, Chris.
Find out they eating, we taking. Greenland invasion, showing love when we see them. Bitches saying they was hating. Niggas swear he ain't a records, he recanting the statement.
The streets nasty, ain't no
This is Austin Sour.
loyalty. I'm thankful that I'm breathing. Bunch of snitches wearing wires, telling bitches that they streaming. Made back in front of 665. Sour be the reason. 5K for the ugly dog. My little bitch was fiending. Heard the proof is in the pot. My shit is on the scale. I've been this way. Cuban links and pigtails for my daughter's pick today. Stick long like a spatula, I get them flipped today. Close the kitchen up on Sunday in my trap and Chick-fil-A. This ain't no mumble rap, this that. If we don't catch you, we get your brother clap. This that, closed casket hit, get you mummy rap. The life feel different when the money stack. You need a better bitch, not no honey trap.
Them niggas sell y'all my
So this is Twain Towns.
life is a telltale. Really hurt my heart when I get jail calls. Ain't seeing my future. Getting mixed in with state greens and jail yards conflicting. Mixing up this Godspeed and Hellstar. L's got a lesson in it. Fuck all your plans if ain't no checks up in it. Every new custody need a reference with it. I see potential, I investing in it. Doing your thing, I might just throw you some plates, but I leave the extras in it.
And this is Rain.
So I slept late, I move in silence. I only speak when it's time to say checkmate. Step straight, you swore you never would snitch. The streets remembered everything you pretend to forget, but rather a lift. I can never settle for truth, cause a ghost can't haunt you like a memory do.
A ghost can't haunt you like a memory do. Cause a ghost can't haunt you like a memory do. That is a weighty bar. That is a weighty bar right there. That's a bar you could whip out at a bar. You could have a conversation with a stranger you just met at a bar, but hey, man, you know, that's how it be sometimes. You know, ghosts can't haunt you like memory do. That is crazy. 1 second applause. I love that. That's the type of bar that makes people go get therapy. 1 second applause. That's dope.
I move in silence, I only speak when it's time to say checkmate. Step straight, you swore you never would snitch. The streets remembered everything you pretend to forget, but rather a lift. I could never settle for truce, cause a ghost can't haunt you like a memory do. Unassisted, cause most favors come with change. Some lessons cost money, some cost your name. I move across the game, still flossing in vain and crossing lanes out, no cautious, safe route. Now look into the eyes of the one who won't break. The safest hands are always the ones you don't shake.
Fake it.
Won't break. The safest hands are always the ones you don't shake.
Wow. Wow.
You are now entering the Vision season.
Word up. Vision season. What's the name of that song again? Monsters. It had a long name. What's the name of the song again? Monsters are due on Vision Street. Monsters are due on Vision Street. I'm gonna give that 7.9 second applause. That's crazy. I rock with these guys, man. It's a collective. So they're not a group. VisionPlay, Vision Season's out now. It's put together by J.Y. Williams. And so you got a lot of artists he's working with, a lot of really talented cats, and produced a very dynamic album. And so PC's on it, T. Wayne Towns, Malibu Mitch is on the project, Poison is on the project, a lot of women, a lot of men. Ray 910's on the project. The features are wide ranging. Kai Cash again is on here. I think who's on there? I don't want to say somebody's on there who's not. But it's a really, really dope listen. And so this track is out now. I'll put links in the description for all these things right here. So make sure you can check that out. I've also covered them on the channel. So there's an interview on the channel. Oh, look at my background. It's like, it's holiday now. Holiday back. Look at the universe. But there's an interview on the channel and also a freestyle that they did that I've reacted to as well. I really rock with it, man. They're doing some great stuff. So 1 second applause to them. Yo, this is 2.5 hours. This is 2.5 hours. I came in here thinking, yeah, I'll do an hour, and then we'll go a little bit longer. Let's see how it goes. Doing my first episode of the Company Man Show live. Episode 1 of the Company Man Show live right here. And so I really want to thank everybody who's been supporting this channel and all the positive energy you guys have been sending me over the course of my career. Truthfully, you know, I've had a lot of advocates in my corner, and I've definitely had an untraditional route into this space. You know, I think people have been following me a long time. Have seen me in a lot of different venues, and for the first time, I think a lot of those venues are now converging in a new way as media continues to evolve. Right, we're in a place where publications just aren't publishing things in the same way. Every time I go, you know, Hip Hop DX has been one of my go-to sites since, I don't know, Katrina, since 9/11, you know what I mean? Like forever. And they're at the point now where they're posting maybe a story a day, maybe, you know, a story every 2 days on their site. XXL Magazine has decided they're not going to post to their site anymore, or at least not regularly. And everyone is moving to telling stories through social media. And so there's a lot of my peers who are having to adjust and are having to find direct to their audience type of ways to communicate, whether that's Substack. They're all on YouTube now. And, you know, and there's a lot of people who I've followed for a long time, I've been inspired by for a long time, who I now get to have relationships with and call friends and colleagues, and continue to evolve in this space, as we all have to do. And one thing that I'm just grateful for and blessed for is that I've been able to be early on a lot of shifts that have happened over the course of my career. And it's really the support of you all that has allowed me to continue to do this. You know, whether that is people who rock with me off the All Out show with Rude Jude, people who rock with me from Brooklyn Bodega, people who rock with me from Hip Hop DX, people who rock with me just off my channel alone. You know, my journey here has been more face forward than I actually thought was a positive thing in the beginning. I wanted to spend I spent so much effort trying to write for these outlets, and I felt like, you know, the prize was to be associated with the right brand. And what I've learned over the course of all of this is that, you know, there's power in believing in ourselves and creating our own brand. And that's always been part of the equation. And that continues to be part of the equation. And I wouldn't be where I am without each of you. And so thank you so much. 9-second applause to you all. And now we got episode 1 out the way. I told you guys I had a petrifying fear of public speaking for most of my life. Right. And I think I got the app down a little bit better. This is actually the second live I've done by myself. Maybe it's the third technically, because I did a members only live at the end of last year. And that was rocky. Members can still see that one. Then I did the Drake lawsuit, the Drake UMG dismissal. And so I just did that document. So this is my first time actually going through story to story and seeing how it feels. So again, the goal is to do this every day. And future episodes will have an interview portion that will be a part of this. Also, there's a Culture United coming up soon, which I will announce. But all of this is, oh my gosh, I messed up vision season. I'm realizing I had Clipse F.I.C.O reaction on the screen the whole time. Oh well, you know, players fuck up. So, but this is also part of the plan, like I mentioned before. And so I've been wanting to, there's two things I've been wanting to evolve. I talked about at the very beginning of this live, how I wanted to evolve how I do news. And so this is more of a show format that will still be able to be broken down into different video segments covering topics. So people who didn't necessarily want to sit through this whole thing or have time to sit through the whole thing, they'll also be able to, I'll be able to share those videos separately. Two, the other thing that's good about this is that there's stuff in here that I wouldn't necessarily make a whole video on that I could still touch on. You know, like the YN story to me is an example of that. Like, I don't know if I would have sat down and made an individual video and put that up. I'm not even sure what that would do to my algorithm, to be honest. But, you know, it's something that I can include in these things. And so that's the good thing about it. But there's also going to be some evolutions to Culture United. And so Culture United, I've been talking about doing them more frequently for a while now, and that's still going to be the case. And so, but that may look a little more dynamic than what you've seen so far. And so we'll, you know, you guys have been great about growing with me. And so I hope you go through that process too. Because I think there's a way to do Culture United so it looks more like Real Time and Bill Maher than it does just like a straight panel. Because one of the main critiques I get about it is that there's too many people on the panel, right? When you get over 6, it can get a little dicey, right? And that's a great point. And one of the reasons why there ends up being so many people on Culture United is because, generally speaking, when they happen, there's a lot of topics that I think we should talk about. And some of the people are more expert on those topics than others. So what would be a way to capture the topics while still making the conversations more efficient? Well, if you have 6 on the panel, if you have 9 on the panel, and a topic is, and there's three topics for that night or whatever, then maybe you do a 6-person panel, and then you have a 3-person panel that happens right before it, right? And they're 2 separate panels. So, well, we'll see. But these are ways that I'm thinking about how this goes. I also think evolving it a little bit gets closer to my vision for it for live performances, and so live editions of this. So you will be seeing that happening soon as well. What else? Is there anything else I want to say? Stories I didn't get to. All right, so there's a number of stories I didn't get to today. I personally did not want my first TCMS Live to have a Drake story in it. So ironically, Drake has been talking, or at least he talked to Complex over email, it looks like. And so I'll cover that story tomorrow. And so you can take a look at it. No shots, no shade. I just feel like, okay, well, I read his interview. I don't think there's anything groundbreaking in this. I think, you know, it sounds like Drake trying to explain why Iceman's a good idea. So at least how it's going. So we'll talk about that in tomorrow's episode. I'm also not married to this time necessarily. Now, this time I went live as late as I did today because of another project I've been working on for the past couple of months, and we shoot every Tuesday at 10 a.m. So I was on set until about 3 p.m., about 2:30 p.m. This afternoon. And so I came home to do this, and so I can get this first one out the way. So going forward, the plan will be to do these earlier. And I don't have a set time. I don't know if it's going to be 10 a.m. every day. I don't know if it's going to be noon every day, but it's not going to be going into the evening in this way, especially since I didn't realize I was going to be sitting here talking for 3 hours. Okay. Like, if you guys had seen, if I showed you an angle with the window, we had all kinds of you could tell the earth was rotating because the sun was up and now the sun is down. So, but so this will be happening earlier in the day. And if you can, in the comments, let me know what time you think is, you guys prefer, or leave in the comments on another video, or leave it. Actually, I don't know if I set this up all the way correctly, so I'm not sure if the live chat will be available on this video when it's done. So if you can, come back to the link and let me know what time is the best time for you guys, or time you think I should do this in the comment section below it. Big thank you to Lils. Big thank you to Andy Pandy Pie. Big thank you to Bucktooth. Big thank you to Lord Racer. Big thank you to all the moderators, for holding it down and supporting this channel and interacting with the audience. That's something I'm trying to figure out how to get better at. How do I get better? Like, how do I do both? Like, I watch some people's live and I think they're pretty good at doing both. And I'm not sure if they have an engineer, producer in the background who is managing some of these things. But I want to have as much audience interaction as possible. Going forward too, because again, hip hop is culture, but it's also community, and I don't want us to ever forget that. I think that's all I have. TCMS, Company Man Show, episode 1, in the books. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening.